Hello listeners, I'm DMJGR and this is another episode of Wreckage, an RPG podcast. Thank you for your support and tuning in. And remember, if you enjoy the show, please leave us a review. It might bring another listener into our fold to follow our tale from the world of Uri. So, let us begin. Enjoy the show.
Right, okay, I'm gonna put Twitch on now, so let's do this crazy shit.
What is up, guys?
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel.
It's your boy, Skinny Penis. Smash that like button, guys.
Hit subscribe like it owes you money.
And we are live.
Smash that like button, boys and girls.
So, hello. Hello Twitch, this is a first, and hello everybody who's listening on our usual podcast. I am DM Original JGR, or John, and this is the wonderful crew that we've got that you can sort of see people's faces, so we'll all just say hello. So we've got Lee.
Hello.
We've got Jay.
Shalom.
This is where I'm pointing in random directions, not actually knowing where anybody is. They're all over that way on me anyway. And we've got Adam.
Hello.
We've got Ollie.
How's it?
And we've got Rob.
Yeah, best to last.
Yeah, Rob's the only one of us that got the memo to dress nice.
Yeah.
What are you trying to say, John? I feel personally attacked.
This is the best clothes I own.
I washed this hoodie the other day.
Not but 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Clash. Start off with some clash shaving.
It's been a long lockdown.
So this is our, for those of you listening on the podcast, this is our first episode that we have streamed on Twitch, a little bit of a test, but we hope you're all enjoying the show. This is our 10th episode, double figures, which is quite amazing, and
Pretty good.
yeah, really enjoying it so far, and we'll take it a little bit further today as we sort of reach the conclusion of the cliffhanger from last time round, and as a group dives into a rather sketchy situation.
Sorry, did you say as the group dies? Because that doesn't...
No, possibly. Who knows?
There was a V in there somewhere, I think.
Yeah.
allegedly.
When you say sketchy situation, last episode, there was an evil crossbow bolt.
That there was, indeed.
I think for anyone wondering, they should go and... Where can they find us, John? They should go and listen to the older episodes.
Well, you can find us on every single podcasting service that there is. Well, about 8 of them. Most of the ones, you've got Apple, you've got Spotify, Anchor. Anchor's the main one where you can find us. We're also starting to upload stuff to YouTube as the videos get processed. And also, there will be, before this podcast goes out, I'm going to do a very brief sort of story so far, little listen along, so that you folks can sort of get a bit of an idea of what's actually happened in the story so far. Hence that, so hopefully that would be a little bit useful as well.
Could you do that now so I remember what happened?
Yeah, well, I'm going to give you your little intro as per normal. But yes.
what you're saying is people just don't have an excuse anymore. We're literally everywhere.
Yeah, literally everywhere. Go and listen to us and follow the story along.
The COVID-19 of podcasts.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Topical and
Follows
relevant.
you everywhere, indeed.
Temporary, yeah.
So,
Moving swiftly on.
before we get going, just a couple of thank yous, obviously, for Green Ronin for writing such an awesome system, also giving us some real good support lately with a couple of giveaways, which I'll announce in the break. But also to Sirenscape, who's given us a little bit of a backing soundtrack, as well as RuneScape. You can get all of the RuneScape music online for use in streams and various other things as well. Go check that out. There's a link on their Twitter feed somewhere. Lee was the one that pointed it out to me. But so that's pretty awesome as well for anybody who's making this kind of stuff themselves.
Yeah, it's royalty free, which is amazing.
It is royalty free, yeah. It's pretty awesome. So, without further ado, I think that is everything. Does anybody have anything else they want to add?
Probably don't want to hear it, but no, I'm good.
Be kind to us, John.
Okay. Well, so here it goes with the little intro. Ooh. are back. So, our adventurers have spent the last couple of days running errands and sightseeing in Marquis. Many people see Marquis as the northernmost bastion of civilization in the Aurum coast. While the north is populated, it is exposed and often raided from all sides by the seafaring iceborne to the east, the monsters to the west, and less recently from the north by orcs. As a result, Marquis is not only a hub of trade, but also mercenary work, attracting all sorts of customer and patron. It is also the city where Tink lives. Our group's activities were rather trivial and what you'd expect for a short break away in the city. A bit of shopping, a bit of drinking, handing in quests, not to mention stealing the item from said quest straight back. And also a little bit of sightseeing. I mean, have you heard? They have a train in Marquis. It wasn't until the group ended up being approached by a small band of orphans that events took a little bit of a turn. Let's just say the group violently dealt with the young thieves, but did eventually let them go in one piece. However, the group had certainly drawn attention to themselves and pissed off the wrong people. Twice in one day, in fact, without realising it. After feeling like they were being watched at the train station, our group opted for a scenic route back to their holdings, as the early evening sun began to set beyond the horizon. Because of this route, it provided their would-be assailants with the perfect opportunity to strike them from the shadows, taking pretty much all the group by surprise, only Tink sharp enough to spot the ambush, but just a few seconds too late. Our group now find themselves bound and sat in an unfamiliar room, heads and cogs aching from the ambush and heavy blows. Your eyes are slowly adjusting to the dim torchlight. Your bindings itch, the tough rope abrasive on your skin. You notice the sand in between your toes, getting into all the annoying itchy places. Tink, it's just generally annoying. You realise this does mean somebody's stolen your shoes. However, that's not all that's gone. It seems like your assailants have taken most of your belongings. As your eyes come into focus, you see a man in front of you, flanked by two men with pistols at the ready. This man has a long brown beard, neatly cut and shaped into a point. His hair is mostly short. It's slightly brown, but it's clear that he's dyed some of it black, and part of it is sort of folded over to one side. His eyes are dark brown and piercing. His clothes are of high nobility, but the sharp-eyed amongst you notice the leather armour underneath. He confidently brandishes some blades and vials slung on his hip alongside two beautiful pistols. As you scan the room, you see some more shapes further back. Must be more people. Near the door you spy a third, a massive brute, a great big bushy ginger beard, and dark black tattoos all over his scalp. You see a young boy with a large bag of coin walking up the stairs. Behind him you see a second, leading a sheep on a rope. The man addresses you again. Excuse me. Over here, woohoo! As I said, where did you find these wondrous relics? Come on, chop chop, I don't have all day.
Do I still have my cloak?
So you're still in your clothes. And you sort of still have various things, but sort of your weapons have been taken off you, and also your shoes. So none of you have any shoes on.
Does Tink have shoes?
Well, I don't know. Does he have shoes? Does he wear shoes?
I always assumed they were like his feet painted to look like shoes.
Well, there you go. He doesn't have shoes. He just has metal feet.
Okay.
Come on, stop gawping. Where did you get these relics?
Let's go chime in with the sheep is not a relic. This isn't the Ballad of Wales.
But the other items you have are. So tell me, where did you get them before I get a little bit impatient?
Forgive me, good sir. Which relics are you referring to? We are unaware of such relics.
And he sort of points over. It goes,
Tink's kind of stalling for time here, I think.
Do not take me for a fool, good sir. this staff and brooch that you have found in your possession. They are powerful relics, and where did you find them?
I am King Mac, and they are my things.
Well, good sir, I think you will find that they are now my things. So tell me, where did you find them, and I shall ask only one more time.
It is your highness, and I won them in combat.
Make a deception check.
Is it deception? You beat a load of wolves to death.
Wrong.
He's not really lying.
No, he isn't. No.
I'm just
Whatever.
really-
Persuasion or deception, whichever. Yeah, okay, I'll let you have persuasion.
I'm just really glad that his hands are tied and he doesn't have an opportunity to try and throw me or punch me. That is like the start of every episode for me.
I
Just
think that's 10.
10.
swinging you like a bluefish tuna into people's
Okay.
faces.
And
Yeah, okay.
he looks at you and just sighs and goes, I am no fool and I do not like liars. Shoot him. And at that point, the man just to his right just pulls out the pistol and fires at you. And you take...
Yikes.
Well, this is starting off well.
I'm sure he'll ask us one more time.
10 points of damage.
What?
Jeez.
Yikes.
And sort of this loud bang just shatters through the room, and sort of you're all hit a little bit by the shockwave because the pistol is so close, and it sort of smacks into Mac, and he just sort of looks back up at you and goes, "So now I have your attention, I hope. Can you tell me the truth? Where did you find these? Where? Be specific."
The staff was acquired in a cave under a waterfall. In fact, and then Tink's going to go off on this huge diatribe about how they got to the waterfall and how they deciphered basically what he did before. He's going to literally tell this guy absolutely everything.
Okay, I would like you to make a communications check, please.
Okay, communications.
Whilst Tink is distracting him with his beautiful story, can Mac just see if can he try and break these bonds, or see if he can get a knot untied, or...
You can have a go. Roll a strength check if you like.
He's doing this subtly. If there's no way of him to do it subtly without people knowing, he might, just think he's just put shot, he might not do it.
I would say that, like, depending on how he wants to, if you're going to try and like undo them, do a dexterity check. I would say. Tink, what did you roll?
14.
14. Okay. So you spend a little bit of time talking through, and sort of the man seems happy as you tell him all of these things, and he goes, okay. And he sort of turns around and sort of looks over towards sort of the bar area where you see there's another individual just with a leather-bound book just making some notes, and he sort of like just nods back and goes, okay. So tell me, who sent you to find these relics?
And then Tink's going to access his memory files while I look through my notes.
I mean, who do you work for? Please, don't keep me waiting too long.
We work for No Man. We recovered the brooch at an abandoned monastery out in the swamps, and we recovered the staff after leading our way into a abandoned place in the middle of a cave.
Okay, roll a communications check, please, Galen.
I won't tell you what I got.
300.
8.
8.
Ooh.
Okay. So
He's
Someone looks at
telling
you.
the truth.
he looks at you and he goes, okay, seems plausible. It does slightly irritate me, though, that you seemingly handed this in, but then when we went to go and collect said relic from the Mercenaries Guild, it wasn't there, and yet we find it on your person.
Our friend Mac has an issue. It's psychological. We're dealing with it, but he just needs your understanding.
Very well, very well. So tell me, what do you know of these relics?
That they are mine.
No, that they are not.
Tink kind of
Psychological,
just, like,
I told you.
his head just kind of slowly turns towards Mac, like in a kind of
The Chucky doll.
yeah.
No, I got 10 in my attempt to undo my.
Okay,
Not
no, you
so
sort of like
suspiciously.
you wriggle your fingers about, and you sort of like there's no real way of getting at the knot. You're quite well tied.
We know very little about the brooch. We only found it on a corpse within the monastery, and we recovered it that way. So we have no idea what the brooch is, or what meaning it has, what properties it possesses.
In fact,
The staff we know very little about as well. We know that it's inscribed with some dwarven runes, and that it clearly possesses some magical properties that we don't know much about.
Okay, roll a communications check.
I think at this point, Tink would probably try
Oh
and
my
lean
god,
to Galen
what am I doing?
and say,
This bodes well.
9. Okay.
Oh.
Luckily, because he sort of like looks at you and he sort of sighs and sort of goes, "You really know nothing about this, do you?"
Tink is going to lean into Galen and say, shouldn't you tell him that it was on the corpse of one of your ancestors?
The brooch wasn't.
Was it not? Was it not in the Cornelius?
No,
Bible?
it was
the brooch
found in
was
the
on
pouch.
some kind of smugglers outside.
It was found in the
Oh,
pouch.
apologies.
And then you went down to the basement and found his ancestor.
Mr.
Shut up,
Robot
Tink, you
Man,
can't even remember.
would you like
Sort
to
your
speak
memory
up?
banks
Is there
out.
something you would like to share?
No, sir, I was merely questioning the veracity of my colleague's story.
I'll chime in with, hang on, robot is their word, you don't get to use it.
He sort of just goes and looks over towards you and just goes,
Bang!
"Be quiet before I take another shot because I fancy it."
Shutting up, sir.
Do you think we'd be here right now if we knew anything about these relics?
We knew
Do you
anything
think
about
we'd be
anything.
pottering about in the city, having a few drinks, visiting the train, buying some armour, getting a voice box upgrade? No. We'd probably
Shooting
be
a
doing
child.
something else if we knew.
You see, that's where some of your issues lie. You decided to cross me, and you decided to cross me in the worst way possible.
What do you mean, cross you?
Well, let's just say you stole a certain artifact from a job. Let's just say that you decided to shoot one of my employees.
That was him.
Yes, but... you know,
Psychological, told you.
Just a quick question. You seem to know a lot about us. Who are you?
Well...
If you're looking for his name, I've seen it scrawled across his mum's lower back last night.
So at that moment, he just
Oh
turns
my
to the person on his left, pulls. There's the other guy, just raises his ready pistol and shoots towards you. Take 7 points of damage.
Who's this at?
That was
Me.
at
Who do you think?
Gillis.
Worth it. Absolutely worth it.
From the Yo Mama bomb.
Joe Mum.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. That's not as many. I don't have as much
John,
help
just
as
a bit
that.
of background to the world. Like, is child labour a commonplace thing here?
Well, you get the impression that basically it's quite common practice for crime organisations to prey on orphanages and sort of children who live out in the streets because they will do pretty much anything for money. Any big city like Marquis, especially in somewhere like the Aurum Coast, where, how can I say, authority is present but not absolute. You know, there's this thing about Marquis, as sort of said, it's like the northernmost bastion of civilization. Like, it's at the fringes of civilization in this sort of world. You know,
But
the
compare it-
villages and things to the north where you've been recently are just people who have struck out by themselves. You know, they've got their own local guards and, you know, sort of everybody out for themselves.
Wild
You get
West.
the impression that it's sort of...
Yeah, if it's sort of an equivalent of 19th century Britain, then there was kids working the cotton mills, kids working any job imaginable because there wasn't really an educational system.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, Tink would know that in Marquee, like, you've already seen, like, you saw that Francis had an apprentice. Like, lots of children sort of do labour and work to build up their skills to sort of prepare themselves for life. So actually sort of hearing this about the orphans working for him, it doesn't really surprise you a massive deal.
Okay.
Just a further question, actually, John. Tink's pistol is built into his arm.
Yes?
So has he lost his arm here,
No,
or is he?
they do not know about that.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Oh.
Good.
Just your arms behind your back, you've got to do some sort of weird capoeira to take somebody out.
So as he sort of looks at you all and sort of looks back to you, Tantan, saying, "Well, you ask who I am. Before I maybe tell you that, tell me, who are you? Who are you all?"
My name is Tantan. I'm a wizard. I apart from that, I don't remember too much.
Okay, you don't remember much. Okay,
I am
And the
King
rest
Mac
of
the
you.
Glorious.
slightly less glorious right now, might I say? I mean, you're a king without a crown.
I
That
am
just was uncalled
Tink
for.
Taylor. You may have heard of me. In fact, some of those garments appear to be from my shop.
And he sort of looks down and he goes, "That is a possibility." And he sort of like looks and picks out the pocket and sort of like pulls it in and sees the little tag. Ah, so it is. So it is. I mean, I don't buy my own clothes, but yes. Well, nice to meet the person who makes my clothes.
Curious.
And at this moment, as you're scanning up and down, you do recognise him. You know him to be a man called Jeffron Friss. And you know that he is a nobleman that lives in the sort of the high end of Marquee. He's never frequented your shop, but actually a lot of nobles never really do. But you sort of like, you know, now you've had the moment to sort of process and sort of identify who this man is, you sort of go, oh, I know you, you're Jeffron Friss.
Bearing in mind that I sort of live in the woods, like a spoon whittler, would I kind of get that gist as well?
No.
I mean, if he ever wanted highly crafted spoons, I'm sure you would be the first.
I'm just going to remind him that if he wants to know what my name is, just ask his mum because she was screaming it all night
Oh
long.
my god.
So at that moment, he goes, "You're really starting to tire me," and he sort of nods over towards the big burly sort of brute that's over to one side of the room, and he sort of like he smiles, walks over. This fist as big as your head just comes out, and he smacks you in the face.
So I've got my headdress on.
Sorry?
Have I still got my headdress on?
No, you do not.
Oh no! Everyone can see my ball patch.
He hits you for that'll be 9 points of damage.
It's got to be you out, right?
What race is
Nice.
that big person that just
He's
came
just
in?
a big human.
Oh, he's just a big human.
He's a
Okay.
big human. Yeah.
Are we all being held quite close together? Is there any chance that I can try and undo someone else's knots whilst all this is going on?
You can have a go at trying to be sneaky if you want.
Yep.
Risky.
Whose binds are you trying to do?
Whoever is next to me.
Okay, so I will roll a d6. Let's see. So it is. Galen,
Please don't be
actually.
me.
You need to keep him
thank God.
talking.
Alright, that was slightly better. 13.
13. Okay. Okay. So as you do this, you just sort of hear this as you sort of go across to Galen and reach across to his bindings. You just hear sort of for the first time, you just hear this, whoosh, and this sort of dagger flies past your face and into the wall just behind your head, and he goes, none of that, thank you. And sort of pauses you in your tracks as he very clearly saw what you were doing.
Was that Jeffron who threw the dagger, or did he
It
signal
was.
to
At the
someone
moment
else?
you sort of
Okay.
look back and you see that Jeffron's sort of little waistband where he's got sort of like 5, he had 5 daggers or such. There's one that's just now empty. There's one little holster that's empty. And you sort of see that sort of flick back of the coat as he sort of just draws it to one side.
You can't stab all of
guys
us.
are in this room with us?
So, as you sort of have a little look around the room, and sort of like you're taking this whole scene in, you sort of see over to your left there's like a little bar area. Behind there's a few sort of big barrels of what you assume must be beer or ale. At the bar itself there's 6 stools, currently one of which is occupied by this person with this leather-bound book. Sort of stood over you in this sort of semicircle area of sand in the corner of the room is this big burly brute. In front of you there's this man, Jeffron, flanked by 2 other individuals. And these 2 other individuals, they have sleek black leather armour on. It sort of looks quite high quality. They both have sort of pistols at the ready, and in fact, they've sort of got they've got 2 pistols sort of on their belt, and one of them's currently just reloading after the last shot that he's fired. Sort of further at the back of the room, you just sort of see a couple of people sort of just sat down, just at the back, and sort of next to one of them, there's a little bag of things and items. And sort of as you sort of taking in this scenario and sort of what's around you, he sort of Jeffron sort of looks back round at you all and he goes, well, let's just say you can all call me Mr. Smith. And I hope that this will be the last time that we meet. And what can I say, gentlemen? It's been a pleasure meeting you all.
Permit me to interject, Mr. Smith. May we ask what these artifacts mean to you?
Well, wouldn't you like to know?
Well, yes, I would.
Well, I'm afraid, good sir, that is something that you may not live long enough to find out.
But then who will make your finery?
Somebody else, and they'll probably do it better. I've been thinking about getting a new
they
jacket.
were
Shit, son.
Oh, shit's about to go down.
And he sort of
Yeah,
like
The
shrugs his
doom
shoulders
music
a
kicks
little
in.
bit. And he goes, and he sort of looks around at you all as you sort of all have that intake of breath, and he goes, "It's a nerve, did I?"
I do not have nerves, for I am an Orient.
Ha ha ha! Such a funny man. Well,
I
anyway.
am not a man.
And he sort of sighs and sort of like you sort of see this moment where like he's trying to give you this big sort of goodbye farewell speech and you keep interrupting him, and it's really, you can actually roll an empathy check.
Okay. Empathy's on communication, right?
Yes.
He's just gonna turn around and be like, "Guys, stop it! Thank God!"
You've ruined this bad guy for me now.
Yeah.
I just keep thinking,
There's no point.
Dr. Evil, 1 million gold coin.
15. You get the idea that you're really pissing him off. Like, it's just, you can see like what you're doing is really winding him up.
Mm.
And he sort of like just goes, "Shut up. It's my turn. Anyway, I have far more pressing matters to attend to, but know this. You have all been useful." And he sort of looks towards the brute. "Boris, you know what to do. Send the word out. The Rage Cage is going to have a premium show tonight." And sort of the big man sort of nods and barks orders at 2 people behind the small bar. You see these sort of 2 people pop up from where they were preparing things, and sort of one of them knocks over a beer, sort of slightly sort of taken aback by the shouting, but they sort of gather their things and their coats from the side and they sort of head off up the stairs. The man turns to you one final time. "Goodbye, gentlemen." And he turns his back on you and makes his way.
Right, you may go.
Oh my God! This group is going to be
has
have
he-
more
has he
holes
left
in
the-
it.
And as soon as he pauses just at the edge of the door, and he just looks at Boris, sighs, and he goes, and roll a perception check, Mac.
Nah, 11.
You don't
We
quite
are
hear what's
great
said,
tonight.
but you do see that something is exchanged between the 2. Boris nods and he makes his way up the stairs. As he goes to leave up the stairs, you notice that one of the others at the back who's got the bag, that you can sort of see this staff pointing out of and a few other possessions that must be in, also heads off with this individual.
So can we just clarify the situation? So he's just walked out of the room.
He has left the room. He's sort of walked out the
He's
room
done-
into a side area where you can sort of see that there must be a staircase, because you can just about make up that they're going upstairs. Sort of in the room at the moment, sort of those two individuals with pistols on their hips. They're just sat sort of on this long table. It looks like some sort of gambling hall of sorts. You sort of see, now that sort of the room's cleared a bit, and obviously you've not got this sort of person stood in front of you, you see there's this like large table in the centre that sort of looks like some form of dice game of some sorts, and then further in the back you can see like a couple of card tables. In the room itself, you see there's sort of there's a couple of individuals just at the back, just having a conversation with one another. You also see that there's those, as I said, those two individuals sort of sat by this table. And then obviously there's the big brute who's just currently stood over at the bar.
So how are our hands bound? Are they
Behind our backs, I assume.
They are tied behind your back, what feels like really scratchy rope.
Are we currently like being directly supervised at the moment, or are we just in the room with all these people?
So as you sort of like, as you look around the room, you do notice that everybody in the room gives you glances every so often. You do notice that sort of the two sat by the long table, they sort of seem to be taking turns to sort of like kick back in their chair and sort of like shut their eyes for a few moments, whilst the other one is just sat staring in your direction.
Is that Boris that's staring?
No,
at us?
Boris is the big guy who's currently stood over at the bar.
I'm just going to whisper. I'm going to whisper to the team that when he said we're all useful, I had another mum line, but I decided against it as he spits a tooth out.
Jay, did you and Rob have like a competition beforehand to see who could leave the encounter with the fewest hit points?
I'm definitely winning if there was.
I was going to say.
So how close is this brute to us? Is he still kind of stood close enough to us? He punched Jay, didn't he?
He's probably about
moved away
he's
now,
probably
right?
about 8-9 meters from you.
Okay, so
he walked back towards
Galen,
the bar on his way out.
are we able to stand up?
At the moment, sort of like you're sort of sat down on this sort of on this sort of earth and sandy sort of bit at the moment. I mean, theoretically, you could stand up. Your feet are not bound, no.
John,
So, quick question. Sorry, you Ollie.
Galen,
I'm just thinking Tink would like to try and change, like basically morph his hand into his pistol form so that he can maybe slip out of the rope.
I would say, even with trying to do that, it would make a noise to do.
Okay.
And I'd also say the way in which they've bound your wrists, it kind of wouldn't slip out because the way the gun comes out,
And the
it wouldn't
hammer.
sort of like the break easily.
Galen's gonna try and stand up and go to like. I guess I want to go towards the dagger that got thrown into the wall and try and just cut the bindings.
Okay, so as soon as you stand up, it's sort of like you start to move. The sort of the man who sat at the table with the pistol just goes, sit down, don't you move anywhere. You'll get your chance to do a bit of moving later, alright?
So, a question from mine and sort of Tantan's perspective is we are obviously sort of magic users. I don't have my headdress, so I don't have my foci. I'm imagining Tantan, what was your... Did your school have a staff? So that's gone, obviously.
Yeah.
So, is magic... Can you do magic without the foci? Is it worse? Is it shitter? Or can you just not do it?
You need your foci to cast certain spells.
Like directional ones?
Yeah, so I believe it will tell you which ones that you sort of need your foci for. I believe you can still cast Arcane Blast without it.
Alright, so wait, that's the only one I thought I had to have it for.
Or it might be it might be that I've got it the other way around.
And I think it's the ones that use accuracy in my head was the ones that used...
Let's have a quick look.
Yes,
carry on.
Yeah, so I was going to say, Galen's just going to kind of close his eyes, say, Lord of Light, protect me. Lord of Flame, protect me. and, like, just move back to the dagger. he's going to try and like cut himself free.
Okay,
Other lords are available.
He's okay. So as you sort of start to scoot and move, the man at the table just stands up and he goes, "Look, Sonny, do you want to get shot? Because you're quite an easy target. Stop moving, sit down, stay where you are, or I'll shoot you."
Can always shoot one of us.
Might I inquire what the rage cage is?
You sat in it.
This doesn't appear to be a cage.
Well, you'll find it a cage later. And sort of as you look around, like there's these little stone boulders just out around the outside of it. And sort of as you take a little closer look at the floor, you do see like dried blood, sort of just on this sort of sandy outcrop in front of you. And sort of as he sort of like engages with you, he sort of like pulls out this pistol and is just pointing it towards Galen. He goes, "No, you stop it. Don't you think about moving?"
I just think his pistol's going to misfire. I'm going to go for it.
Cast a hex on it.
Okay, Lee,
So-
you go next, and then I'll go after you.
as you go for it, Galen, he's going to shoot you. That is a that is a 14 to hit.
What's your defense?
Not that.
So it's
15. No, it's 12.
so you take 11 points of damage.
Oh my god!
Ooh.
Guys, stop!
We're not going to make it to the big arena fight.
I was going to
This-
say, it's going to be less of a
Hang on,
rage
hang on.
cage. Just
So are we talking like the weapons here are an equivalent of black powder, or are they sort of Martini Henry, where it's like, you know, the breech goes, you put another shell in. pick it
So
up, you go.
this one is it's a black powder pistol. This particular one.
Fuck it, you can only shoot once. Let's do him.
He's got two.
Between
pistols.
us, we've got 10 feet.
He's got two pistols, and at the gunshot, you sort of see that the other one sort of is stood up, pistol in hand as well, pointing it towards you.
The second guy, I forgot about him.
So Galen, you sort of get this shot into the shoulder, and sort of like you take, as I said, 11 points of damage.
Gentlemen, it may be pertinent for us to wait and see what happens here.
Tink,
It's called a rage cage, Tink.
I do not think the people of your city know how to entertain a king. Is there someone I can complain to?
What is your formal sort of scenario?
Who are you asking, me or the guy?
I am asking you, Tink.
Well, there are usually protocols for this sort of thing. However, I am unfamiliar with this particular underground establishment.
Okay,
And
Mac.
he kind of air quoted when he said underground, but you didn't see it because it was behind his back.
All right, Mac is going to get up and he's going to go over to the person that just shot Galen and put himself between them and start asking, I would like to complain to someone about how we have been treated. And he's going to give Galen a shove towards the knife as he goes past him.
So at the moment you go to stand up,
Brilliant.
basically you sort of see that you've also got Boris just staring at you, and he sort of walks over and he puts this large hand just on your chest. I would like you to make a strength check, please.
Alright, come on, I've rolled terribly so far.
Is this going to be as good as your ones against Hantown?
Ah, that's not...
No.
I was going to say, you know what's going to happen?
Is
he's
this a
gonna pick him up
might
and
check?
throw
Do I
him
get to
at
use my
me.
might?
It's an opposed. Yeah, I'd say it's an opposed.
Okay, that takes it up to 17 then.
17.
Whoa!
Pushes him out of the ether.
So,
That was quite a bad roll as well.
So 17. So as with all your might, as you try and sit up, you do not budge an inch. He rolled. Let's just say he rolled.
Let's make this dice roll up.
He rolled 21.
Oh my god! Wait a minute, John. You do realise we're supposed to roll 3d6,
Yep.
right? Not
Yep. That's plus,
15d6.
that's plus his modifier. So I
Oh my
rolled a
God.
5, a 5, and a 6.
Oh my.
I'm no mathematician, but
Yeah. Ain't nobody
Yeah,
got time for that.
But he's rather strong, and you decided to go for a might check, and he's perfectly happy going for might as well. So you do not budge an inch, and he sort of like just turns at you at this moment, and he sort of looks at you all, and he goes, "Boris thinks you should sit. It might be worth your while. You'll get your chance to show off your brutish strength later, yes?" So sit. And
Boris, the Thai lady boy.
Yeah.
And at this moment, he sort of looks over at you and he goes, I've got another fist if you want it in your face.
Gillis is shaking his head going, you don't want that. You do not want that.
And he sort of goes, no, you do not want that. That's how this works. You do not want that. And he sort of sighs.
Before the fight.
And he sort of just like shrugs his shoulder and walks back and he just sits at the bar. And you sort of see him sort of say something to the person behind the bar. He just laughs. And they sort of just sit and he pours himself a beer and he sort of starts drinking this beer. You get the impression that they've got you at this moment. And, you know, now with this heightened sense of what you're doing, you notice that the two individuals who are sat on the long table are literally sat there with their pistols in their laps, ready to go any moment. And they're just sat there, waiting. Now, are you wanting to do anything else, or do you want a bit of time to pass and have a conversation? They don't.
We
seem
could
to
game
stop
the
you.
system and work out the maximum amount of damage those four guns could do. One of us will get through the gauntlet, I'm sure.
And in
No,
episode
I'm
11, there is one.
New characters rolled.
Yeah.
TPK. I think Tink will just kind of lean in a bit closer and say, gentlemen, perhaps we should wait this out. I do not believe our situation is tenable enough for us to overpower them.
Gillis spits out some more blood and agrees with you.
Who's the most hurt at the moment?
That's me. I'm down to 13 health points.
Oh my god.
Jeez.
Would you say that I'm quite close to Gillis, John?
Yeah, you're sort of all sat like they've sort of like bundled you all together. You're sort of sat next to each other, sort of in this little sandy pit.
Okay, I'm gonna just like shimmy my way over to Gillis, and with my hands tied behind my back, I'd like to try and cast a healing touch on him.
Okay.
If that's possible. Does it? I know in 5e it's got like somatic components, etc. Is this something that I would be saying out loud, or could I sort of like mumble it under my breath?
I'd say
and
you'd be
keep
able to
on the
mumble
down?
it. I'd say you'd be able
Cool.
to. I would say for casting purposes, are you being obvious with doing it, or are you trying to do it?
I'm gonna try and do it subtly because
Okay.
I don't want them to know that I'm a mage.
So what I would ask
Despite you
you to
telling
do is
them
do a
you're a
stealth
wizard.
check first.
The wizard had it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so do a stealth check.
Okay. What does that fall on the dex?
Yeah, dexterity. Yeah.
Okay, that is. I think I'm competing with Adam for low rolls tonight. That is a total of 8.
8. Okay, so as you sort of go to sort of like move and wriggle, sort of over towards Gillis, you just sort of hear that voice. Stay where you're at. No need to get close to one another. You'll get your chance later. All right.
Okay. Can I try and convince him in my beguiling way that only Tantan can do?
What are you going to try and convince him?
I'm going to be like, well, if we are fighting later on, my friend here would be much more interesting if he didn't die straight away.
Roll a persuasion check. Communication.
Communication. Oh, I've got a +1 to that, so this goes well. Okay, I just rolled 2 6s and a 5.
Okay.
So,
So as you do that,
That
he's
is,
sort of like you see him look and go, "Hey Boris," and he goes, "Yeah, what?" He goes, "He makes a really good point. He does."
first
And you
time
sort of see this.
Tantan's
You
ever
sort of see
heard
this.
that.
This big guy sort of like pauses. Yes. And he sort
Boris
of
is trying to work out if Tantan was talking to him.
and he sort of like, and he sort of nods at the person behind the bar, and the person behind the bar is one of the other from the back of the room who walked across to sort of pour a couple of beers. Sort of gets a beer, pours it, gets a rag, walks across, puts it in front of you, and goes, "I'll help him." Pours a little bit of beer onto the rag, and just whacks it straight into your bullet hole.
Nice.
Sort of just into your shoulder. Just puts it straight in. It hurts. He's going to do an intelligence check. Ooh, he rolled high. So, with his finger in your bullet hole and the alcohol, you get the impression that this beer, it stings like absolute bugger. It's quite potent alcohol, and it sort of sterilises the wound a little bit. Possibly counteracted by the rag he's putting in. But you get the impression that this is quite potent stuff that they've got behind the bar. And he heals you for 6.
Woo! Thank you.
By the way, just to clarify, bullet hole, he actually means a hole. The bullet. I was wondering where you were going with that for a second. Takes a finger and rams it up your bullet hole.
That's an interesting way of healing.
Yeah. Do you feel better? Much better, thank you.
Just breathe in deeply.
So,
Woosah.
is there anything else you would like to do at this moment, or would you like some time to pass?
I think Mac is
Unless
just
we
going to
want to
sulk.
lose more health, I think we
I
should
think we
wait.
should just say, yeah.
Okay.
So
So,
about that dagger on the wall.
so as time goes on a little bit, you start to hear a little bit more about hubbub from upstairs, just above you. You all can kind of hear this, and it sounds like somebody sort of clattering around. You hear the odd pan just like move about, and you hear like kitchen noises above you. You get the impression that there must be some sort of kitchen room above you. But as the sort of time progresses, it sort of gets a little bit louder and a little bit more sort of busy. And you also start to notice, as time goes on, some patrons coming down the stairs, and you sort of see all sorts of different types. You see people in light leathers, daggers sort of in their shoe. They tend to go and sit by the bar and order a beer. And then a few more clientele come in, sort of a few in noble attire, a little bit more elegance to them, and they sort of make their way towards the tables. And sort of over the time that you're there, as sort of about half an hour passes if you sat in the corner of this, the room starts to fill. The gambling tables start to fill. The tankards start to fill more and more. And you sort of get this impression that every so often people look at you. They sort of share words with each other. You see coin being passed between each other. And it gets busier and busier. And sort of about an hour and a half later or so, the room is filled with about 20 to 30 people. Over on your left at the bar, there's a group of about 10 ragged-looking, sort of cutthroat thieves. They don't look that strong, they look weedy, they've got a couple of daggers on their legs. They're just having a merry old time. They are sharing drinks, they're looking in your direction, they're laughing. And further back, you sort of see in the room those 2 individuals with those pistols are still sat overlooking the dice table. They're a little less attentive to you, but you do feel their eyes on you at all times. But as the time passes, more drinks are flowing. You also notice at this point that the big brute of a man, he went upstairs some time ago and hasn't come back down since. As the atmosphere in the room begins to grow, and you see these 2 people come down from upstairs, and they sort of clasp their hands together. They rub them, and it goes, "Ladies and gentlemen," and sort of the whole room sort of hubbers. The loud noises still going on. And "Ladies and gentlemen, please." Sort of the hubbub dies down a little bit. "I see you're all here today for the main event. We have the Rage Cage, a premium event today. So, I hope you have placed your friendly bets with one another. I think it's time we get this party started, don't you?" And sort of a cheer erupts in the room. And he sort of walks over towards you and goes, "Right, gentlemen. I see that you are here today to partake in our little event. So, without further ado, which 2 of you would like to go first?"
Yes, I would like to leave, please. I'll be one of the ones to leave first.
Okay, he sort of looks at you and goes, very well, and the second?
Yes. I'll go next, please.
Very well. Good. A fine match. Possibly a short one, but
Oh,
a
God.
fine one nonetheless. And sort of at this
Your team is
moment,
coming.
the two guys with pistols walk across from the table, and they sort of bring the three of you, so they bring Tink, Galen and Gillis, they just move you to one side, sort of put you at the side of the room, sort of just outside the sandy area. And sort of what they then do is they go, right, here we go. And they sort of, the other man picks up this bag, empties it onto the floor, and in front of you is an array of rusty weapons. There's a mace, there's an axe, there's a sword. They're not the finest weapons, they're a bit rusty, and you feel like if you got cut by one, you would maybe get... you need to go and get your tetanus jab, not that you know what that is. But
Bit of sepsis.
yeah, bit of sepsis.
Wear it off.
And at this moment, he sort of goes, pick your tool of choice, and sort of looks at you both.
Alright, Mac is going to go and pick up a mace. How many people are here in the room?
So, in the room itself, you get the impression...
Matt working out how many people he has to kill.
over on the left-hand side of the room, there's a sort of about 10 or so of these cutthroats, just sort of around the bar. You roll a perception check.
13.
13. Yeah, so I would say that if we'll make it a smelling check as well.
Ooh, 15.
15. You sort of get the whiff of alcohol from the bar. They may have only been here about an hour and a bit, but they've put back quite a few drinks already. Out in front of you, there's these two individuals who are sort of handing out these sort of weapons on the floor. And the sort of other two that you feel are threatening are the ones that your companions are sort of stood next to at the moment. The rest of the people in the room sort of strike you a little bit like not commoners, but nobility, and they're here for the gaming and the gambling. Sort of with your quick scan around the room.
Has Tink been able to hear any conversations going on and ascertain what's going on and what's going to happen at all?
So, as you're there, the two individuals who sort of moved you over to one side, one of them turns to the other and he goes, I'm gonna put 5 gold on the little guy. I think he'll punch above his weight a little bit. And the other one goes, ha ha, you're on. And you sort of get the impression that they're sort of passing bets around about who's going to win in a fight.
Each
I'm
other,
going to turn to... oh god, I'm going to turn to Mac and be like, I wonder who we're going to be fighting, Mac. I think we can take them.
Yes, I think with my strength and your brains, we will be able to beat anybody.
Yes.
And Tandan's fucking depth perception.
I'm going to hit someone. Don't know who.
So, as you're there sort of sharing these words, he sort of goes, so the awkward, like, the mace, is you sort of like, you're still bound, but sort of like the man sort of identifies that, picks up the mace, throws it into the middle of this sand pit, and sort of pushes you over into the centre of the room, and he goes, and you...
have you got any staffs by any chance?
And he sort of looks around, and what he does is he goes over to the bar, knocks a guy off his stool, gets the stool, smashes the stool, throws you a bit of the leg, and gives you the chair leg.
Oh, we're getting freebies. They're giving us something to take away to remember it by. Okay, I'm just gonna like totter my way over into the sand pit.
Okay, so at this point they then they cut your binds and they sort of step away, and you're stood in the middle of this pit. Tantan, you're looking at Mac, and Mac, you're looking at Tantan, and the man who's there goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, we have the first fights," and sort of this cheer erupts in the room, and he goes, "We have hunchback elf fighting
No.
the
King
orc.
Mac the Glorious.
And as you sort of shout that out, he goes, "Not Sir King Mac. He ain't got a crown." And sort of like turns towards you both and he goes, "Well, gentlemen, let's begin." And at this point, you also notice that the two individuals who started this fight have got their hands on their pistols and they're just looking expectantly at you and goes, "So there's a simple rule here, folks. You fight each other, one of you walks, the other one doesn't. And if you don't, well, we've got a little pistol here to help one of you along."
John, I'd like to roll an intelligence check to see
Okay.
if Tantan would actually understand the rules.
Roll an intelligence check. Go for it.
Okay, it's not the highest. That's an 8.
And I'll tell you what, Mac, you should as well. If Tantan's rolling one, you should as well.
Oh, okay, no, Mac definitely does. Okay, that is 9, 10, and 12. 12.
12? Yeah. So Mac understands what's going on. Tantan, not so much.
Okay, I'll turn to Mac and be like, so, one of us has to leave. I say we do boulder parchment shears, and whoever wins gets to go.
Okay. Tantan, I'm going to just be quiet for Mac. Can you do any fire spells at the moment?
I do lightning and healing, but that's about it.
And sort of as you're having this conversation in the middle and just looking at each other, you hear this almighty sort of bang as this sort of pistol bullet just hits the floor by you. And you sort of look over to the two individuals, and one of them has just got a smoking pistol. Puts his pistol away, gets out his other one and goes, "I won't miss next time. Come on, start the show."
Okay, alright, ready?
I'll turn back to
One.
Mac and I'll be like, 1, 2, 3.
Oh, okay,
While
again.
this is going on, John,
Yeah.
1,
can
2.
you think, maybe
Three.
get the attention of Galen and Gillis?
Oh,
and
you
formulate a plan.
you get to leave, Mac.
So, whilst we'll talk about the result of the rock paper shears in a moment. Tim, what were you doing?
Well, I just want to try and get, surreptitiously get Galen and Gillis's attention and just try and formulate some sort of plan here, because there's an opportunity here.
So there's lots of noise. You sort of hear cheering and various other things, and I would say you've got an opportunity to talk to one another.
Yeah, I'm assuming they're quite distracted.
They are quite distracted, yes.
So,
Is that dagger still in the wall?
It is still in the wall, but it's the other side of the ring from where
Okay,
you're at.
fine, okay.
I have a strange question. So, I've got the overgrowth spell.
Yep.
Which means I can sort of control the growth of wooden implements. Are the pistols wooden stocked?
There is wood within their stock, yes.
Can I make a guy blow his own face off?
I would say that you wouldn't be able to do it in the speed of him firing it, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, true.
You'd be able to malform it and sort of
Make a
misshape it,
misfire. Yeah.
but you
Still
wouldn't.
useful.
You wouldn't necessarily because he'd have to be pulling the trigger, and it would have to point in his face. So yeah,
We can work on it.
yeah.
So Tink's going to lean in and say, Galen, are you able to cast any form of fire spell that can heat metal?
Unfortunately, not, Tink.
Can you even?
Are you not a-
You're
a
literally
priest
a
of the
priest
Ember
of
Order?
fire. Can you not start a spark? These guys are carrying ammo.
I'm still a novice. I'm still learning this stuff. It's not like I can just
Not
summon
fast
it out of
enough,
thin air.
Galen.
Quite.
But I do. I think we'll need a distraction to sort this out. I've got an idea, and at this point, he sees that Mac and Tantan are kind of doing this weird rock paper shears thing in the middle. I'm assuming we could probably shout at them, and they might hear us.
Yeah, they probably would.
Yeah.
So
I'm
can
just
everyone
gonna
else.
shout Tantan lightning, and then I'm gonna shout Mac swing the wizard.
Oh God!
Okay. So as you shout
I like
this,
it. I like it.
as you shout this, so I just have a double check that you need. Well, actually, because technically you don't have your foci, but I just want to double check.
Doesn't matter, he's swinging a wizard, an elf wizard.
Well,
It does
I don't
not
know yet.
count
That's
as
what
an
I
improvised
shouted.
weapon.
like a bonsai pinata.
More like a
bonus.
boss-eyed bat.
I just imagine that Emperor Palpatine being picked.
Don't do it!
If Mace Windu just picked him up and swung him round, motherfucker.
I'm just double checking this because I think Jay, you might be right that actually you need your foci for Arcane Blast.
Yeah, so anything that requires the accuracy skill, as far as I'm concerned, is something you direct using like your wand or for me the headdress. So, but then again, my regrowth and camouflage don't require accuracy, so...
Yeah, because you've got magic points. Each spell has magic points. Spells,
magic has come.
Spells and armor. Casting spells.
Yeah, because all of my spells just use intelligence and arcane.
That is completely fine. Yeah, so you are good.
So I could technically do all of my spells because they don't use accuracy.
Yeah. And they haven't quite worked out you're a mage, so...
I'm a wizard.
I would never put him down as a mage either. If he told me he was a mage, I'd be like, what are you on, mate? Crack pipe still hot to the touch.
Okay, so as we got back to middle, I think they were in the middle of doing the rock parchment shears, and I believe Mac was just coming down with the shears as Tantan was holding out the parchment. At the moment that hits Mac, you just hear over the cacophony of noise and slight quietness that rung out because of the gunfire. You hear, "Wizard! Lightning! Mac! Throw wizard!" What do you do?
Mac is going to do just that.
Okay.
He'll drop his mace, he's going to grab Tantan, and he's going to throw him at Galen.
Okay.
So, I did say swing, not
okay, swing.
Right,
swing.
Okay. I will
do a
swing.
spinning lariat in his head.
Swing him then.
Okay, so you go to grab him, and you start to swing him round, and the crowd sort of they start to get excited about the fight that's about to erupt, and we will pause there for a quick break.
Oh God!
And as we embark on what the next little bit will be, so yeah, woohoo! So we're going to take a quick little break right now, but we will be back shortly to continue this little story. So catch you in a moment, folks. Welcome to the break. Hope you've enjoyed the show so far, and I hope you're going to stick around for the second half to find out what happens. Whilst you're waiting, why don't you just head on over to our socials and give us a follow or a like? You can find us on Twitter at RPG Wreckage, and you can find us on Instagram at Wreckage RPG. Somebody stole the Twitter one. Forever angry. Anyway, thank you very much for listening, and enjoy the rest of the show. Hello, we are back.
Shalom!
We've all had our break. I know,
I didn't get any more beer.
I had a
gotta go. Oh, we'll be back again in a minute.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Leave it.
I had a custard donut. It was amazing.
Oh, good. Good.
Is that a euphemism?
Nice. Did you bring one? Did you bring one for everybody?
I did. There was 5 in the pack.
Smashed them all in one.
There's 6 of us.
Cool. Right. So, without further ado, let's get back into the combat that is about to go down.
Oh, God.
So, to set the scene with what you've got. So, currently, Mac, you have grabbed hold of Tantan, and you are about to swing him around. You have taken everybody kind of by surprise by this. So I will give you, including Tantan. So
Cotton Eye Joe dance.
Yeah, you'll get to go. You'll get to go and have a round before everybody, as they're like rushing to react to what's going on, because they might, to start with, think it's part of the fight. To give you, the rest of you, an idea, if we're looking at the room, in the corner of this is where the semicircle is. So there's a semicircle of sand surrounded by these stones. There is a bar area. At the bar area, there's sort of like the cutthroat thieves. Whilst they don't look strong, they're drunk. They're sort of they might fight. Sort of the back of the room towards the gambling area is where there's quite a few nobles. The threatening people within the room there's the 2 individuals with sort of smarter leathers on, who are stood in front of the three of you that are bound currently. So that's Tink, Galen, and Gillis. So they're sort of stood in front of you. They've currently got their pistols holstered. In the centre of the room are the two people holding their pistols up, okay, towards the ring. At the moment, that's kind of it in this room. Everybody's cheering and facing the fighting ring. Everybody's kind of like eyes on the fighting ring. So, what I would like everybody to do is roll initiative. Let's go.
Huzzah.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh dear.
This is my first roll of the night.
Ugh.
It's plus dex, isn't it?
Yes, plus dexterity.
Oh
That
dear.
does not.
Is it just
Nine.
3d6 plus dex? Yeah.
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 6,
I'm the
1,
same.
1.
Got a
Plus-
5, a 1, and a 1.
My grand total seems quite common tonight. 8.
8. Okay,
My
so
total is 9.
okay, so hang on a sec. So,
Isn't your dex insane?
15 to
One.
20.
Oh.
No. 10 to 15.
12.
Yes.
Okay, so we've got Mac on 12. What are you, Galen?
11.
11.
Yes,
Okay,
please.
I rolled 13.
Of course you did.
Yeah, of course I did.
Sure.
So 5 to 10.
Yeah,
9.
5.
Yeah.
9.
8.
So 9, 9, and 8.
Wow,
So we've
low
got
rolls
Tink,
across the board.
so Tink and Tam,
Consistent.
and then Gillis at the end. Okay, so Mac, I will say for the purposes of this, because everybody is distracted and they think it's part of the fight, I will give you all a surprise round because Galen, you sort of initiated this, so I will give you one round for free. Okay. So, up first will be Mac. Let's go.
Okay, can I say I didn't drop my mace? I put it in my waistband or something as I picked it up.
Okay. Well, what I will
That
say
seems
is
a bit
like,
ridiculous that I dropped it.
yeah.
Even better, put it in Tantan's waistband to get that momentum.
I'm picking
Like a
Tantan
hammer
up
thrower.
and I'm swinging him around as if I was going to throw a hammer.
Yeah.
And I'm spinning towards towards our little group.
Okay. So you're going to throw him towards the group.
I'm spinning towards it, so I'm going with him.
Okay.
So
and
we are
so-
spinning.
Oh, you're just spinning. You're
Oh,
spinning.
like a top.
We're swinging. I'm swinging, which is what I was instructed
Okay.
to do.
Yeah. And you're going
we're
towards the group.
towards
okay.
the group.
So I'd say with the movement, you can get towards the two people in front. I'm just going to say, as you're holding on to Tantan, roll a strength check.
God.
God.
Okay, that's good. That's
He's got him.
19.
19. Okay, so you keep
Snap him
swinging.
off.
You're not letting go of him. So you're swinging him around, and like everybody's sort of cheering as you're making your way towards the edge of the ring, sort of closer and closer towards the side. And you can sort of hear this sort of roar. And in fact, in front of you, the three of you that are bound, you just see sort of like one turn to the other and look towards him and goes, "I told you the Orc would win." And at the moment that he says that, Tantan just collides into these two people. So, what I would say, Mac, can you roll to hit?
How many d6 damage is Tantan worth?
That is
2d6
that's
piercing
13
damage.
on the dice.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
not
got to
sure
be
what I'm
bludgeoning.
into it.
It's not sharp enough.
Well, I'd say you're using an improvised weapon.
Great.
No. What you got to do, John, is gamble health points off of Tantan's at how hard
Yeah.
he's
No,
being
no.
swung.
Remember, I tried to help you, Jay. I tried to help you, and this is how you repay me?
Wait, I'm a horrible person.
You son of a bitch.
I will need to be reminded what an improvised
I'm one of the
weapon
worst.
gives me, but 13 on the dice.
13. So,
Improvised weapon, essentially, in this instance, gives you a terrible conscience, but, you know.
so I've just realised in the break I managed to get rid of my rule book.
Just make it up, John. It's fine.
I'll just bring it back up again. So, improvised weapon is...
all know 13's good.
It's brawling, so if you have brawling, that gives you a bonus.
No.
So no. So, it's accuracy.
Hang on, Mac doesn't have brawling.
I have
14.
brawling. How does Mac not have brawling? I should be swinging Mac! This is a terrible plan!
You couldn't even swing Mac's shoes, or if we had shoes.
Yeah, if he had shoes.
None
So
of us
14.
have shoes.
So 14. Okay, so 14, that hits. That definitely hits.
God.
So the damage is going to be 1d6 minus 1.
-1. I don't think you're appreciating my true value in this situation.
And then
John.
you add your strength.
I feel personally.
Add your
5.
strength to
That's
it.
4. That's 9.
When his
9
cloak
points of
covers
damage.
up 3 guys in the
Nine,
crowd.
Bloody hell.
9 points of damage.
And I'm going to use
Trained
my
this
pinpoint
guy.
accuracy. If my dex is higher than my person I'm hitting,
Their dexterity is 2.
my dexterity is 3.
My dexterity is
best skill
2.
in the
Does that
game.
make an impact at all?
And that's another 4.
4. So how many points of damage was that in total?
That's amazing.
What did I roll first?
9?
Ni- 9, wasn't it? 9 plus 4.
Plus 4, yeah.
So that's 13 points of damage.
Using Tantan's head, you burst someone else's head.
So, as it collides into this sort of first individual, it sort of smacks them across. So 13 points of damage. Tantan, I would
Wait a
like...
minute. Tantan hitting somebody has done more damage than a bullet.
Yep.
It's the delivery mechanism. Mac versus black powder.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Tantan, I would like you to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Perhaps Max should
Why?
start throwing bullets.
Would my stamina?
Just rocks,
Yeah,
like,
no.
fuck it.
I wouldn't say stamina in this. No, I'd be looking at my.
Why are you doing this to me, John? It's like you hate me. Oh, it's not bad. That is 11.
8.
11.
No, it's double digits.
Okay,
Sorry.
so you take 2 points of damage.
Oh, that's not bad. That's a good trade-off. 13 for 2. Don't get any ideas, by the way.
So it's 14 points in damage in total, wasn't it?
So you said I took 2, was it, John?
Yeah, 2 points of damage, yeah. So I'm trying to do maths in my head. Ugh.
Sorry.
Okay.
You're a
cool.
teacher!
I know, right? Fantastic. So, that smacks in. So Tantan... so actually, up next is Galen. What would you like to do?
Well, can you just tell me what we can see in the room?
So right in front of you at this moment, what you can see is
It's a
Mac
40 mile an hour elf.
flinging around Tantan, and it just smacks into the individual who's in front of you, and it sort of knocks him to the side and sort of bundles him into the other person. Looking out in front of you, you've got the 2 individuals with their pistols who are sort of like trained in your direction but looking really confused as to what's going on. There's also like the bar area where there's all the sort of like cutthroats just like cheering, enjoying the show, but you can sort of see some of them, their faces are becoming a little bit more confused. Everybody else in the room at the back is just sort of cheering at the cacophony that's going on. So yeah, basically what's just happened is Tantan has just collided with this person in front of you.
So I think biggest threats in the room are the guys with the pistols. So I feel like I'm going to have to run at them and probably try and take a flying drop kick at one of them to try and.
Okay, go drop
I should.
Okay.
My God, the carnage!
Okay,
Watch out!
so you're gonna
Beyond
run
the
forward
ring.
and you're gonna drop kick one of them. Okay, fantastic. So with your drop kick, then do a fighting.
Yep.
Do a fighting. I like
Do a
that.
fighting.
Can
I'm
you
doing a
smell
fighting.
What
10.
Galen is cooking.
10.
Well, my beer went up my nose. I don't know why that got
do
me.
you add anything to your fighting, or is it a 10 you
no,
rolled?
that's 10 I've got in total.
Okay, wonderful. So you run forwards. You sort of all see Galen just like run forwards. He goes to drop kick, and as he goes to drop kick, the guy that he's flying towards just like steps to the side, and this bound Galen just jumps up and sort of like jumps and then just falls onto the floor, slightly
Ki-yaw!
bruised. So that's your. Were you charging though? I would say. So actually, were you
I'm
charging?
Probably, yeah, it's probably like a run. And,
So
yeah.
well,
It's all or nothing. When you're doing a drop
It
kick,
is a
there's
charge,
no
there's nothing
reserving.
else I'm doing.
so charge. Remember, gives you +1.
Oh well, that would make it a 12.
Which actually makes quite a lot of difference. So, At the moment that you one of them deftly steps out the way, the other one doesn't see it coming, and you smack into him. So, with it being an unarmed attack, I need you to roll D3 damage plus your strength.
I've rolled a 6 plus my strength is 2, so that is 5 damage.
5 points of damage. Okay. And as you're doing a drop kick, I would say do an opposed strength check, and we'll see if it gets knocked to the ground.
Is he still wearing his armour? Because that would count.
Yeah, I've got strength.
Oh, yes, yeah.
14.
14, okay. What I will say for this is that you come in, you fly, you smack him, and he tumbles over onto his side. Whilst the kick may not have damaged him much, it has knocked him prone. Okay, so up next is Tink or Tan, whoever wants to go next.
Tan, go on. I think you need
sure?
to. Yeah, you need to recover from that braining.
Ride the lightning.
It might have knocked some sense into him.
Your eyes are actually straight.
I'm for once.
Laser focus.
I'm going to pose a question to the group. I will let you decide. Do I go big or small?
Always big.
Big.
Always go
Big.
Okay.
Why
It's
did
not
you
even a
ask?
question.
Come on. Okay.
Unlimited power!
Exactly. Okay.
I want to see this room as a crater from space. Don't care for a minute.
That really
TPK.
tickled me. Okay. I'm going to cast Lightning Bolt.
Okay.
Now, that is. Let me just try and figure this
In a
out.
room
'cause
full of
it-
people. This is going to
No,
go
it
up.
only targets one person. It's not Static Blast. I'm not doing the same thing that I did last time.
Are you still doing 40 mile an hour?
Yeah, he's sort of spinning around.
60 degrees.
In an
You can't
orc-based
target
centrifuge.
Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out how the.
Hang on, he can target anyone if it's in his eyes.
Comedian.
You.
All right, guys, calm down. Jeez, you just stop feeling very physically attacked here. It just I rolled a 15, which matches its spell power. The casting test or whatever it's called. Sorry, my terminology is terrible here. Yeah, so I hit the target number of 15, so it's 2d6 plus my willpower penetrating damage.
Penetrating.
And the target needs to make a successful Constitution test, or it only takes 1d6. So I don't know if you wanted to do the stamina check first.
I think you need to
Consti-
randomise who he's targeting, because I don't think he knows it.
Yeah, so
guy
I
in
will
leather.
say, yeah, I think that's a good shout, actually.
Why are you killing our teammates? Just hit
So I would say that it's going to be one of the two, but we'll see which one it is. Okay, so it's the one that you
Shut up.
collided into. As you sort of
Okay.
collide
That
into
makes
him,
sense.
you sort of smack into him, and you sort of just turn your hand back and just blast this lightning bolt out. So what was it? Constitution save?
It is a stamina check.
Stamina check. Okay.
Yes,
That
against
is
my
Constitution. Ooh.
spell power, which is 14.
I rolled a 16.
Oh,
Stop rolling high.
Yeah.
John, I mean, I just had a chance to roll 2d6, and now you've only given me 1d6. So I'm not
Sorry.
saying I'm upset, but you've kind of pissed me off.
Well, at least you're guaranteed damage.
Okay, that person takes. Let me just check. I need to see, as I haven't used the spell before. So that is plus willpower. Ooh, my willpower is 4, so he takes 8 points of damage.
Amazing.
Penetrating
Not bad.
damage.
Did you say it's penetrate? Ooh, okay. Cool.
Penetrating
Straight
damage.
Oh, he's looking pretty rough in all fairness.
After your skull collided with his jaw.
So not only is he being smacked, he is looking pretty rough.
I mean, your body
Okay.
caused more damage than that lightning bolt, so I'm not...
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if he'd have failed his stamina check, it would have been like, whoop-ah!
And I suspect at this point there's not really anything else you can do because you're still being flung around.
Yeah, and no, I'd like to use my movement to walk to the bar and get myself a drink.
Well, no, you can make yourself rigid, like sort of.
Wow, that's really... Don't use that terminology, Jay. That just sounded wrong.
Okay, cool.
He can erect himself.
Moving on.
Tink.
Yes. So these guys, obviously, Adam is now Galen has kind of given him a bit of a heads up here. But are any of them? Are they all paying attention to us now?
Well, you get the impression that after this they're going to be paying attention to you.
So,
It's sort of,
well-
this is still your surprise round.
Okay.
So
my thinking with the surprise was that Tink was going to kind of sidle up right, pretty close to one of them, and then just like lift his leg and just stamp down on the back of this guy's like shin.
Okay,
with the
are
aim of
you
breaking
going
it.
for the one that has been clobbered by Tantan?
No, it was. I was under the impression there were another 2 in front of
There were
us.
2, so you're going to go for the other one. Okay, so yep, go for it. So
You should've gone down. You could have killed someone by stamping on their shin.
What way
So-
to
You've
go?
got a pistol in your hand.
so
you just
go,
like,
go
you can
for
bend over.
kicking.
You just sort of shoot them.
Fuss Rodar.
Go on then, kick him. Kick
Okay. Is that that's going to be on strength, right?
him. So it's fighting first.
Fighting. Oh dear, I'm on 0 for fighting. That's not good. 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh,
9.
Miss.
So you go to stamp. You missed. Is there anything else you would like to do?
Maybe step away and try.
Okay,
and
so you sort of like
Try
there's
and
this
free
wonderful
myself.
moment that somebody in the background saw of the robot sort of walk towards the other guy, stamp angrily on the floor, and then just like back away ever so slowly. Okay, so up next is Gillis.
Okay, so obviously seeing everything going on and Tink making an absolute massive tit of himself. So from what I can gather, Galen has knocked someone onto their arse.
Yep.
Whilst one guy sidestepped.
Yep.
They are both armoured pistols.
Yes, they are.
I want to try and use regrowth on the guy who's standing
Okay.
on his pistol.
Okay.
Just to try and turn it into something that's less wieldable.
Yep. Go for it.
Oh yeah, shit, my dice on my phone. Hang on.
It's like that Call of Duty Warzone glitch when all the guns turned into like incomprehensible masses of metal.
It's plus willpower, so 12.
12. Does that succeed?
Yes, it's 10.
Okay. Wonderful. So as you sort of like look out, you sort of reach out with your mind, and you sort of like you pull out your hand, and sort of like black greeny forms of energy sort of leave your hand and sort of make its way across the room into the pistol, and sort of the hand of the pistol, you remember and think back to your first instance in the bar where you turned the guy's club into this unwieldy bush, and you sort of do the same thing, and these sprouts just sort of start magically appearing out the handle of this pistol and just sort of dig into the guy's hands and sort of just like morphs his pistol, and then it starts sprouting from underneath, and a bit of wood goes into the barrel itself, and it sort of grows, and he's currently just holding this sort of like small bush in his hand, and you sort of look at this confused you sort of look towards the guy, and he's just got this confused look on his face. He's holding onto this little like miniature bush in his hand. You've successfully taken out his pistol.
You literally
I'm
gave
going
me
to
too
bonsai.
much banter to even talk. Thank you.
Is there anything else you would like to do?
I want to move up behind Tink and just sort of look like a sort of unified force. So if everyone comes in, they've got to get at least 2 headbutts.
Okay. Fantastic. So that was your surprise round done. So
Oh,
over
shit.
to everybody else. So there's sort of this moment whereby people at the back of the room are still cheering. They're sort of like enjoying the fight. Like, this is wonderful. They paid money for this. And you can sort of see that and hear that some of the cheering is starting to die down. And in fact, the people at the bar, you sort of get this moment that they're sort of like calming down a little bit, and in their slightly drunken stupor, they're like, "Hey, we could join in." And like a few of them start reaching for weapons and things, and somebody even like grabs hold of a bottle, smashes it on the bar, and sort of they start to look like they're looking for their target, about who they're going to pounce on. So they're not doing anything just yet. However, the other individuals. So I'll start with the first one, who's been absolutely battered and shot. What he's going to do is he's just going to turn and sort of in his slightly dazed state just pull out one of his pistols, and he's going to shoot towards you, Mac. So he rolls 15.
The epicenter of an elven hurricane.
I am rolling well today.
Really
15.
high tonight.
No stunt points though.
Then 12. So
12.
you hit.
So that hits. So
Well,
that
do they get any
is-
bonuses for having Tantan in front of me?
No,
A blazing
no.
hot.
You can't have your cake and eat it.
Uh,
I
He will
mean,
eat you.
offensive
He
or
will eat you.
defensive, not both.
so that is pistol. Oof, 11 points of damage. At this point, the other one is just going to turn around. So this one's going to take out. The other one's going to pull his pistol out, and he's also going to shoot towards you as well. And he's going to go for. Let's have a look. He's going to go for Tantan.
No, he surely has to have disadvantage. I
Yeah,
mean,
good
I'm
luck.
being
Yeah,
spun
he's-
like that.
Yeah,
big
I
into-
hope he's good at skeet shooting.
He's rolled a 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
John, put your dice away.
Yeah, just burn them.
no
I think
goats
you'll
left in
find
the
my
local area.
defense is 18, John.
Sorry, Darren's
Well,
dice.
that's only 6 points of damage this time.
Okay, that's alright.
I rolled poorly on damage.
That's
Don't
fine.
Makes you a glancing blow as you
Oh, wait a
spin
minute.
round wildly.
Before, when you said I took 2 points of damage, was my armor going to stop?
No.
that? No, it wouldn't. But this time it would.
This time it would, yeah.
Okay, so it was 6, so I've got an armor of 3, so it takes
Yeah,
damage.
last one was a head-to-head collision.
It was a head on.
Yeah. Okay, so the ones in the middle of the room, so one of them is going to spend quite a bit of time standing back up.
I can imagine he'd need to.
Because he's just been knocked over. So he's going to stand up, which is going to be his move. And then what he's going to do is he's going to kick somebody while he's down, and he's going to do an all-out attack on
Jesus.
Galen. So, now I roll poor. So
Yay!
that is a 9.
Not good enough.
No, even with some modifiers to actually like, because I would say like whilst he's on higher ground, he only gets +1. So yeah, so still only 9. Okay, so he misses. The other one, however, is gonna who's still stood up, is just gonna like point his pistol towards the ground at you and shoot. He, however, rolls a 14, 15, 16.
Well, that's a hit.
And he's got 6 stunt points.
Isn't that all with a
So-
dodgy pistol now, though?
What he's going to do
Yeah, it's
is...
9mm
Yeah, he's got a
bonsai.
dodgy pistol.
Yes, he is. Sorry, I forgot. So,
Save the day!
yes, he has got the dodgy pistol. So
Just
what he's
a
going
bunch
to
of
do...
flowers comes out the end.
And actually, he's also fired the other one recently. So he's not going to shoot his pistol. He's going to throw the pistol at you instead. So, thank you for reminding me. So he's going to throw the pistol at you. So he still throws the pistol at you with a roll of 16 and still gets 6 stunt points for that. So he's going to throw the pistol, which is an improvised
And it
weapon.
bounces back into his hand, and he just keeps doing it.
So it's going to be D6 minus 1. So that's 5 points of damage. Lethal blow, which is 2D6.
Jesus.
This is the part
So,
where Gillis
6
accidentally
points of
turned into a
damage.
cactus.
Plus 11. That's 17
You're using your
points of-
weighted casino dice there, John.
Yeah.
My
17 points of damage by being thrown a spiky bush
From a bush.
into your head.
It was
Just shoot him. Just shoot the pistol. I'm sorry, Adam. I'm sorry.
So this just flings it into you at quite some speed. So there you go. Clearly, like one of the bits of wood, like got you in the eye or something.
Yeah.
However, that is all my stuff gone. So now, Mac, it's over to you.
Alright, I'm continuing swinging Tantan round. Am I right next to people, or do I...
Yeah, so in front of you, there's the one that's just... none of the individuals have actually moved anywhere. There's 2 in front of you who have been collided into. Tink's trying to step on one. And in the centre of the room, there's the ones looking over Galen. And you can see the angry sort of mob of cutthroats.
Alright, so I'm going to take some time and aim at what I'm doing, and I'm going to aim Tantan at the one that's looking beaten up,
Okay,
and I'm going to throw him into him this time.
okay, so roll to hit.
I mean, to be fair, this is actually our most effective weapon. I wonder if we ought to just like make this a thing.
not
Yeah,
a tactic
forward.
we are maintaining.
14.
Doing the math.
14, okay, so I will say that hits, plus your accuracy to it, because we're using an improvised weapon here. So.
Yep.
Yeah, so that hits. So 1d6 minus 1 damage.
And
What's the
so that's
SP
4 minus
philosophy
1,
when
so
I
that's
made
3
wizard?
damage, plus I will use my pinpoint accuracy,
Go for
Of
it.
course you will.
and that's another 4.
So jealous.
So
Okay.
Right between the
7
eyes.
was that points of damage?
Yeah, okay, so, brilliant. Where did you throw Tantan?
Because I want my hands free.
No, where? Not
Oh,
why.
where? No, at him.
I don't
threw
think he
him-
needs a
I
why
threw
at
him-
this point, John. He just does it regardless.
I threw him at the person,
Yeah, okay, but where?
like straight into his face.
Into his face, fantastic. So,
Oh, I killed
Tantan,
him.
as you're flying towards this guy, you're sort of just, your whole body collides with this guy's face, and you just get thrown against the wall, and your whole weight with max strength, just like your shoulder just drives into the face, and you hear this sort of squelchy crunch.
Oh.
And you sort of like, you get knocked on, and I'd like you to make a dexterity check.
John, just a quick query. How much
Yes.
are helmets in this game?
Spiky
I feel
helmets.
like I need one. That
Yeah,
is
pickle help.
that is 9 plus 2, 11.
11. Okay, so I would say that like you smash into the wall and you manage to gather your feet, and sort of like you just see this body with like a misformed, slightly caved in face slowly moving down the wall, and you've got red claret and bone and stuff, just like a little bit of bone stuck in your shoulder, just from his
Mint.
skull.
Okay, I'm gonna sort of stand up to my feet and be like, can I go now?
Mac, is there anything else you would like to do?
I will charge up to the next one, so I'm next to him.
Okay, so you're going to sort of move up to the next one.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Galen, you're up. You're on the floor.
Yeah, so I've got 2 minor actions and a major action, right?
One
minor.
minor, one major.
1 minor. So I'm just going to stand up and all-out attack on this guy. I'm just going to try and headbutt him. The guy that's just...
Okay, going for the headbutt. Yep,
Yeah, the guy that tried to stomp on me.
go for it.
Fuck's sake, why am I rolling so low to 3, 4, 5? No, I've missed. Why am I
Not even counting. I miss. So you go to
3,
nut
4,
him, and he
5.
just sort of like palms you out the way. Tink or Tan, you're up next.
Go on, Tan, pick yourself up.
Okay. Would you say that because I hit the one person because I got thrown. That's a sentence I never thought I'd say. Would I be in close proximity to the other person that was standing sort of
Yeah, you
guarding
need to
the
move
group?
to get to them, but you're
How
in
far
close
away
proximity.
would I need to move?
Oh,
roughly?
just a couple of meters, really.
Okay, so it's close enough. Would you would you say that I would still have the quarterstaff in my hands
What,
after
for
the
being flung
blender
around?
I've just been in?
I would say let's make a retrospective strength check.
Oh, yes, John, because of course I will win that. Jesus.
Make a skill your
oh,
shit
it's
at
not
check.
bad actually. That's 5 plus 6, 11, 12. in
Yeah,
total.
you've still got it in your hand.
Yay! I will go up to the person that is near the other two, and I will bonk him over the head with the bit of bar stool.
Okay, go for it. So you're going for the other of the 2 individuals, the one that wasn't. Okay,
Yeah, the
yes.
one that hasn't
Okay,
been hurt.
yeah, roll to hit.
Okay, so that is that is not high. That is 7, 9. Oh, it's not bad. 11.
11. Ooh, just misses.
Ah,
Just misses.
there you go. The magic number's 12.
Yeah. Gillis, you're up.
Right, so I feel like the crowd is getting rowdy as hell.
Yes.
But I almost feel like there's 3 factions here. There's us.
Hang on.
The 2
shouldn't I have gone
bodyguards.
before Gillis.
Yeah, where's
Yeah,
Oh,
sorry,
yeah.
Tink. Yes, you're up.
Okay. I think Tink's just gonna have to go for another. He's gonna have to go nuts and try and like.
Under quick bio.
Yeah.
That's right.
You go, Tink.
He's gonna go. Yeah, he's gonna go for a headbutt against the closest guy, the guy that he missed a minute ago. I'm
Okay,
guessing that
go
guy's
for it.
turned around now. So, this is fighting again, yeah.
Yep.
Oh god. Well, don't worry about it. That's a 1, a 1, and a 3. So
Wow,
yeah.
wow, he's not doing much. So is there anything else that he would like to do?
Maybe step away and try and break his bonds somehow. But
Okay. Yeah, I'd say it's a major action to like break the bonds, but you can certainly step away again. So you sort of like walked in, had another go, no, walked back, and sort of like there's just this moment where like sort of table legs are flying towards this guy's head, and he's sort of just like moving out the way.
he's a tailor, not a fighter.
Yeah. So what I'll do then is I'll go on to talk.
Where, John, just for a sec.
Yes.
What is the demeanour of the bar now? Because obviously they were a bit rowdy before.
Okay.
What are they sort of like now? Has it progressed into like a full blown brawl, or?
So at the bar, as you look over, you sort of see that they're like swaying and they're looking, and you can sort of see that some of them are like picking knives out and sort of like making their way over towards Galen on the floor.
Oh.
They're sort of like they're seeing it as an opportunity to like get a dig in, maybe.
Wait, I'm
so-
stood up now. I'm stood
Yeah,
up.
you're stood up. Sorry, you're not on the floor, but you're stood up.
So
So
they're going towards Galen.
they're sort of going towards the group.
Want to fight
They're-
by the sounds of it.
They're patrons of this place, but you know they're a bit drunk. They maybe just want to join in, or maybe they just want to get a bit of free blood. Right? Okay. So so they're looking more aggressive. So Gillis, what are you going to do?
Yeah, so, sorry if I missed a bit there, but as far as I'm concerned, there's 3 factions. There's people running the show, and people watching the show, and then there's us. So in an attempt to make things a bit more even, I want to try and convince the people that are watching the show that they're being ripped off. And this is
Okay.
all a setup. So I'm
Okay.
like, oh, it's a fucking con. It's a con. They're taking your money. It's all bullshit, man.
Okay. Roll a persuasion check.
Turns out,
Don't biff it.
sorry,
Whatever
character
it is.
sheets over here. Is that communications?
Yeah, communications.
Oh, I've got a massive modifier of 0 for this.
God.
Bodes well.
Now let me get my dice rolling app up.
Get some physical dice, Jay.
I've got things, I just haven't got space to put them down. That's a 15
15. Okay.
with
So
no
as you sort
stun
of
dice.
start shouting out, "It's a con," and various other bits and bobs.
They're stealing your money. They're stealing your money. No one likes that.
What you notice is
Taking the gerbs.
you notice that some of the people in the room sort of pause and they start looking at each other. And what you notice is some of the people around the gambling tables just start picking up money off the tables. And what
Yes.
you notice is that some of the people at the back of the room use the distraction of the fight and the opportunity to steal some money and take some stuff for themselves. So when it gets onto their go, is there anything else you want to do?
Headbutt the nearest bystander.
Just
Just a small child serving
say
person.
that your major action is trying to convince these people.
All right.
So
My minor action will be then sort of probably squat a bit, try and keep myself low in the crowd, and try and bob and weave.
okay,
Ready
so
to headbutt the nearest child.
Timmy.
as you sort of like move on to there, so I'd say that what starts to happen in the room is you sort of see some people starting to leg it, and they start to run upstairs. Some of them with like coins of money, and you sort of see some coins like tinkling down on the floor as some people are like just starting to leave. As that happens, what you notice is that like some of the cutthroats and brigands at the bar see this itself as an opportunity, and they start following these people out as well at the same time. And you sort of pick up, because you know you're the one that instigated this, and you're looking around. You sort of see some of them like swiping these bags as these people are leaving. So I would say that from your actions, you've made the group at the bar kind of separate a little bit. So there's not so many at the bar at the moment.
We can't get up here then.
On to the rest of them. First off, the individual that's being stamped on by Tink is going to turn round. He hasn't got. He hasn't got a chance
Playing
to.
footsie.
Yeah, so he's gonna pull. He sort of
Orion.
reaches down to sort of his thigh, pulls out this dagger out of his leathers, and just goes in to stab you, Tink. Oh, there we go. That is.
Are you going to miss tonight at all, John?
I don't know. That is 13.
No, that's a hit.
You take. That is 4 points of damage.
Is that ignoring
Minus
armor?
your armor.
Or was that-
No, minus your armor.
Ah, no points of damage.
Just
No
the
points. He's
one.
trying to
then.
stab you with
No,
his dagger.
Is your armor 4?
5.
He's made of metal.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Armored hide. It's like.
So he's sort of trying to stab you with his dagger, and he just can't get through.
Wait,
In-
did you say
Terminator
armor
theme tune
5?
kicks in.
Yeah.
You have armor 5?
Orions get a defense bonus like innately. They're just insane because they are
oh
metal.
my god!
metal
Can I
people.
change?
Imagine
my,
if you're an
race,
Orion
please?
with heavy
I'm
armor.
on 4. I've got heavy armor. Heavy
Yeah,
leather.
if you put an Orion,
Jesus.
put him in heavy armor. Yeah, he's like
He's
insane.
a 9.
Yeah, he'd be like a tank.
Space Marine.
So, the ones in the middle of the room, Galen, they're just going to kick you. So, one of them's going to, like, just throw in a punch towards you. That is an 11.
Missed.
Oh. And the other one is going to roll, also try and punch you, and that is a 14.
That's a hit.
So, you take 1, 2, 5 points of damage.
Minus
I
his
still
armor.
got- Yeah, so just
Minus
take
your
1 point
armor.
of damage.
It's a
Okay.
glancing blow.
And at this point,
Tis but a flesh wound.
the sort of half, so the mob of thieves are
Your
also
arms off.
going to jump in on you, Galen. So they're seeing this as an opportunity. They want to have a bit of a fight.
Why
So-
Galen specifically out of everyone?
Well, it's because he's closest. So
Okay.
they, however, they roll 10
course they
to
did.
hit.
Missed.
So these sort of like slightly drunken people are trying to stab you and sort of punch you, and they are just missing as these people are sort of on you.
But rolling out of the way. And
There's a really cool rule called mobs, which is when you've got like weak enemies. These are drunken cutthroats. They're not really fighters. You can like mob them together as one person. So rather than having like 5 different individuals to work with. So there you go. Cool. So up next is that's all of them. So up next is Mac.
Alright, Mac is grabbing the
Return of the
mace
Mac.
out of his waistband, and he's going to attack this person that he's next to.
start
Okay,
swinging.
so this is the one that's being attacked by clubs and feet at the moment.
I think is it, or is this
Is
the
it-
one that's been attacked by Tink?
Yeah, that's the one.
Well,
Yeah,
I've
Yeah.
got a club.
Oh,
Yeah.
you've got 12. Okay.
got the club. So yeah, so he is definitely outnumbered. So and flanked. So when you are doing this, add add 2 to your roll.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, good. Okay, that's not great. So that is. Oh, I missed. 8, 10.
Roll 10. Yeah, that does miss. That does miss.
Have you applied your thing?
Yeah, that was a terrible roll.
Oh.
I should have used Tantan.
Okay,
This mace
I
is
ju-
too unwieldy. What I need is a
Tam-
flesh elf.
Galen.
Tantan takes an action to equip. So,
Yeah.
So
Galen,
I'm
you're
just gonna. I will
Oh, sorry, Matt.
stand
Anything
firm
else?
or something whilst I'm.
Okay. Just going to stand there.
Hang on.
Work out what you'll do. Galen.
Well, yeah.
So at this point, I guess I'm standing up. I want to try and probably back away at this point because I've taken a bit of a battering.
Yep.
But I also want to try and just break my restraints.
Okay. Make a strength check.
Make a strength. Not how I'm rolling at the moment. Oh,
Your restraints get tighter.
yeah. Take
9.
3 damage.
You get
9.
folded up into
So
an
Galen
S&M
starts
ball.
backing away and is like, like struggling to get these restraints undone. But you manage to move away, and sort of, are you moving more towards where your companions are?
yes. Yeah, I think so.
Okay, cool. Okay, so you're sort of moving away from the mob. Okay, that's fine. Tink and Tan.
shall I go again?
Yeah, go on.
I will double up with my improvised club and try and give him the old bonk again. That's
The
right.
old bonk.
Give him the bonking.
It's not that kind of club.
Yeah.
Okay.
Swingers.
That is. God, where is it? +2. Oh. That's a 10, so that misses.
That misses. Okay. Anything else you
Oh
want
wait, aren't they?
Oh yeah,
surrounded?
no,
Do
he's
I get
outnumbered, so you get
+2,
+2.
so that's 12.
Yes, 12. So that hits.
Oh, yeah.
Aim as well.
I did something, you guys. What was that? Aim. Is that
You aim with a close combat.
Yeah,
yes,
aim.
you
You can
can.
aim with anything. It just gives you +1 to your
Okay.
roll.
So that is 6 points of damage because I rolled a 3 and it's +3.
Okay, awesome. 6 points of damage. So as you come around, you smash him with this post, and it like smacks him on the arm. So it looks like it will leave a bit of heavy bruising.
Here, take that.
So 6
What's
points
my
of
name?
damage. Minus armor. Tink.
It's fucking Tan.
So at the
That's
start of the
the
fight,
twice.
John,
Yep.
there was a load of weapons laid out for people to
There
choose
are
from.
indeed.
Are they still
Yep,
laid out?
they're in the they're in the middle of the room. They're
Can I
sort of
see
in the
them?
middle of the sandy area, next to the mob of cutthroats and the 2 other people that Galen tried to fight.
So I haven't really got a clear run to it then to go and grab.
Yeah, you could probably run to it if you wanted to.
Yeah, I think what Tink would like to do is try and run and somehow crouch down and grab a bladed weapon to try and cut himself free of his binds, or at least
Okay,
someone else.
so I would say what you can do is, as you run over, roll a... Oh, let's go for a dexterity check.
Oh, I really need to upgrade his dexterity. Oh, wow! Okay, 6, 6 and 4. So 12,
Ooh.
14,
Okay.
18... No, 16, 17.
Yeah, nice. Okay, so you without issue run over, and actually, Tink, you like do a little combat slide, and as you do the slide, you like turn your body towards the weapons on the floor, seeing a sword just lying up, blade up, and you sort of manage to catch the ropes, and you break your bindings.
Can I also grab the sword as I do that? As I
Do you know what? I would say, because you rolled so high, yes, you can.
Excellent.
So you sort of slide down and you grab hold of the sword and you stand up, sword in hand, and stood in front of you are these sort of 2 individuals in their sort of leathers looking at you, sort of pistols on their hips, well, 1 pistol on the floor growing into a bush slowly in the middle of the room, and you sort of have this small mob of cutthroats also all bearing down on you as well. Gillis.
Yeah, totally with it.
Or not.
So, no, I'm trying to think out, like, outside the box next. It'd be very simple to go in and just swing an attack. I'm trying to think of what I can do that's slightly different, but I've got nothing else. So, the other guy who's got pistols, can I overgrow his pistols?
Yeah, they're currently on his hip, so he's not using them. I mean, one of them has... so yeah, you can overgrow them if you want.
I think it's the
Can
best
you-
use of me at the moment.
Can you control the growth, or is it? Will it
Not
just
really.
sprout?
It's just
No, it just
more of
sort of
a
grows.
yeah. Like
I didn't mean like that. I meant can you use it to like snare them and stuff, you know, or whatever.
So
No,
phallic.
it has no control.
It just happens.
3 beers in.
No, yeah, so the way it specifically says is like I can find a bit of dead wood and make it into a living piece of sprouting wood. If something's already living, I can make it do a year's worth of growth. So if I went to an orchard, let's say, the apples have just dropped, hit an apple tree, it will sprout a whole new set of apples. Because it's only a year's worth of growth.
Right, got you.
So it's not really a
How'd you
control
like
thing,
them
maybe...
Hey!
I got those apples. Yeah, you call me the cider druid. No. I think the most dangerous thing in the room is that guy's pistols, so I want to try and just make them as unusable as possible.
Can you
Okay.
please throw a witty one-liner after you
Go for
succeed and shout "got wood" or something?
Yeah, yeah. You've got my wood.
No.
Again,
No.
No,
that's all
no.
No.
Hang on. Well, Is it plus willpower?
Yes.
That's an 11 then. My willpower is
succeeds.
3.
Pass, isn't it? You need
Oh,
10.
right.
Yeah, 10.
Jesus.
Psychic
Yeah,
test,
so
isn't it?
the
Oh, yeah,
pist-
because it's a spell thing,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
some random number John's made up.
Defense value.
What are you trying to say?
yeah, your spell has a target.
Oh, thank fuck.
Yeah, so the pistol on his hip starts to grow, and like it sort of wraps around his leg, and like bits of wood goes around and sort of like locks the pistol onto his leg. You know, so if he tried to get it free, it wouldn't be able to come free without snapping it. But again, you've managed to make the pistol unusable.
Jumanji!
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So over onto the enemies go. So first off, the mob of thieves. They're going to run at you, Tink.
Uh-oh.
So you've got these sort of about 4 or 5 just running at you.
Okay.
However, they are drunk. So that is a 12 to hit.
That is sadly a hit.
Okay. So they are going to do 11 points of damage to you.
So 5. Minus
your
5, sorry,
armour.
so 6. Okay. Ouch.
Okay. So the 2 in front of Galen that were shooting at Galen and punching Galen, the one that's got the pistol growing into his leg is now also going to join in and run at Tink. That
Jesus.
is a 16 to hit.
John, you gotta stop this, man.
I know.
Keep rolling.
I know,
Someone
right?
needs to
Shittest
buy
GM.
him-
Shittest GM.
So
needs to buy him new dice.
as he runs forward, he's going to
Give
pull
him some D3s.
a dagger out from his pocket. It's
'cause he's on stream.
His belt. He only does 5 points of damage, which is negated by your armor. So, yeah, so no damage from him.
Was that me or Galen?
Yeah, that was you, Tink. Yeah.
Okay, good.
And then one's going to run back at Galen and pursue Galen. And, hey, I rolled rubbish. That is an 8 to hit.
That's definitely not a hit.
So he again running towards you, drawing out a dagger to go for you. Starts to hit. So at this moment as well, you hear this almighty smash as the door flies open from where the stairs were, and stood in the doorway is the big giant brute of a man. And you just sort of
where you went.
you just see
You have
him
an
standing.
absolute addiction to giant men.
Yep, there's
Every
always-
episode, there's a new giant man.
Yep, there's a big giant brute. Great big bushy beard.
I noticed that. I had a little bit of a chuckle during the intro.
Yeah. So he sort of comes in, and you just see him and goes, "What is going on?" And he's sort of like looking at the chaos.
It's angry.
You're a bad guy, but you are not a bad guy.
He's nothing personal.
and he sort of like starts surveying the scene in front of him. Cool. So Mac, you're up.
All right. After that embarrassing miss last time, he's going to aim this time, and he's
Oh,
going
hang
to
on.
aim.
Sorry, one more. I
Gonna
forgot
grab
one more.
Tantan.
I've got the one that's trying to hit Tantan now, because Tink's
What?
moved out his way. Yeah, the one that you're
God
trying to hit.
damn it, Tink.
Tantan's moved away. Oh, it's all right. I've rolled rubbish. He missed.
Yay!
We'll move on from that one.
His
So,
luck has turned.
Mac,
finally.
what would you like to do? Yeah.
Right. After his embarrassing
time.
miss last time, Mac is going to aim very carefully at
Yeah.
the person next to him's groin, and he's going to line it up like a golf swing.
Okay, go for it. Roll to hit.
Toasty!
Okay, that's much better. And it's double. So that is 9,
That's a blast from the
12,
past.
13, 14 to hit.
14 hits.
With
yeah, that
double
hits.
with 5 stunt points.
Oh,
No.
Right, so I get
this
two,
guy's going up through the ceiling.
yeah, so I get 2d6 to begin with. So that's
Gonna hit.
7 points of damage to begin with. I'm going to use my pinpoint accuracy because he was aiming pretty good for that.
Yeah,
That's another
hit him so hard, he's
3.
gonna have a
So
double
that's
chin.
10 points of damage, and
10
then
points
I've
damage,
got
okay.
5 stunt points.
Oh man, there's some good
I'm
ones
going
on
to
there
use
for 5.
lethal blow and inflict another 2d6.
You're not going
Yeah,
to go
I've
for
never,
dual
I've never
strike
even
just to,
had
like,
5
put
stun
away.
points, so I don't know what happened.
2
Yeah.
targets, what, both
I
is
think
that?
I've got
and that's
like
another
2
10.
stunt-
How many have you done in total?
Was that 20 points damage?
Ooh.
Okay.
He's a fine mist.
His
Split him in
testicles certainly sure are.
They're in his
As
throat.
you bring this swipe up into his groin. There's like this red mist as it just collides. And everybody in the room who witnesses this just sort of goes, ooh. And then as you bring it up, even higher, like it almost just like vaporizes his pelvis at the same time. And he just smacks up and you catch him on the chin and he just like lifeless just falls backwards and down and slumps and hits the floor. And sort
Like
of
a
as that
peeled
happens,
banana.
you do notice that a few more of the nobles in the back who are watching this fight, as soon as they see that, they are running. They are just legging it out of this place.
John, that description was so vivid, I'm pretty sure everyone in the chat just winced. Well, that was
females.
So, he is very dead. Okay, so that's them done. Galen.
Yeah,
Well, at
what are
this
you going to
stage,
do
I'm
now,
have to try and
Galen?
break my bonds again. Like, I feel like I'm
Strength check.
Why not call on the god of flame and
This
don't let him
reminds
burn the
me.
bombs?
This reminds
'Cause,
me.
oh no, you can't do fire.
This reminds me an awful lot of when Galen and Tantan tried to pull the wood out of the bank, and Galen couldn't do it, and Tantan eventually did.
Here we go.
Come on,
Galen's
Galen. I believe in
Come
you.
on, Adam.
I believe in you.
38.
10.
Yeah, the
10.
the number you're looking
No.
for is 21.
10.
I'm 3d6.
I would say after all of the effort you've so far done, you've loosened it up a few times. It finally snaps, and your hands are free.
Oh, thank
Like
God.
undoing a
the
jam
rope
jar.
does? The
Yeah.
rope does, or Galen finally?
Yeah, his arms just snap.
Just gets his ragged stumps out of these retainers.
And then I think with my minor action, I'm just going to move towards the pile of weapons, really.
Okay, you're going to move towards the pile of weapons. Okay, fab. Awesome. So, Tink and Tan.
Could I move? Because at the moment there is a group of people who are assaulting Tink. Is that right?
Yeah, so essentially in front of you, there's one who's chased after Galen a little bit. So there's one of them slightly separate from the group.
Okay.
The rest are all wailing on Tink.
Okay. Is there a way where I could get close to the group, where I would get as many as possible within a 6x6 yard area, but not include Tink?
I would say...
How many would I get?
I
roughly?
would say in a 6x6 yard area, you could probably run to the centre of the room and hit the large mob of people attacking Tink, the
Yep.
big brute in the door, Boris, and also the one who is chasing after Galen.
How small
And
Okay,
also
and
is this room?
a few bystanders as well.
How much movement would I have after this?
Well, your move is just your move, so you would move there,
Yeah.
do your action.
Oh, okay, right, okay. I wouldn't have enough movement to like move back at all. Tan's feeling brave. He's gonna go for it.
Okay, so he runs to the middle of the room.
Runs to the middle of the room. Okay,
Because
he's going
6
to try
yards
and do.
is quite a big space.
Yeah, it's a fairly big space. He's going to try and do shock blast.
Go for it.
So.
I did not go magic user. This
Ooh,
sounds
that's
fun.
good. Okay, that is 6 plus
I
6. That's
make
12.
pistols grow into bushes, mate.
Plus 4, which is 16, which succeeds because it's a
Nice.
13.
Cool.
I'm going to get rid of my magic points down to. I don't have many magic points left.
So there won't be many bodies left after this.
Yeah. So everyone affected needs to make a stamina check versus my spell power, which is 14 now.
Okay.
And if they fail, they take 1d6 plus 4 damage.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm all about
so,
that maximum carnage.
So 16. So the first group, the mob of thieves, fails.
Cast is
Okay.
super.
Do you want to do it
Yeah.
all at once, or do
Yeah.
one at a
Yeah.
time?
So if you do one set of damage. So what was it for if I fail?
Yeah, it's fail is 1d6 plus 4. I'm just rolling the dice now.
Yeah.
7 points of damage.
Okay, so we'll do 7 points for everybody who fails. Okay. So cool. So
Then
then
it's none for anyone that succeeds, as far as I'm aware. It's not half.
Bandit fails. So that's him down to Okay, cool. And the next one. Okay, I'm not rolling very well for this.
Oh, and anyone who succeeds just takes the 4 damage.
Okay.
Sorry, I misread
And
that.
Boris.
3 damage. They take 3 damage. Sorry.
Boris. They all fail.
Oh, so they all take 7 points.
All take 7 points damage.
Jesus. If you look at that as like an amalgamate, that's a lot of damage.
Yeah, it's a lot of damage.
That's a lot of damage.
Nice. Is it
Like
penetrating?
John.
Is it
See
penetrating
ya.
as well? Do anything else?
You'd better believe it's penetrating damage.
Oh, nice. Cool. Okay.
Much
So-
like Max Mace.
That's pretty good, that is. Fantastic. So, up next is Tink. Tink.
Yes. So at this point, I think he will remember that his pistol arm is now free, and he'll just kind of take a step back, but like not like moving, just to bring up his pistol arm and just kind of aim it at the closest assailant.
Okay.
So can I aim and fire?
Yeah, I would say because your thing's a quick action to come out, you just pull it out and fire as one. So yeah, go for it, aim and shoot. So
Cool.
this will be at the sort of guy in front of you.
What does aim add? +1.
+1, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So this is
It's not that much in a 3d6 system, is it? +1.
Because of the
dunno.
bell curve, it does make quite a difference.
okay.
right.
Oh, dear.
Right.
I need to
guess
start
that.
using my minor actions more.
11. I think I've missed.
11.
Yeah, that's weird. That's
Well-
with +3.
He is also outnumbered 2 to 1, which gives you a +1.
So 12.
So 12, which hits.
Ah, okay.
Roll damage.
It's my dex is only 1. What's their dex?
2.
Ah, so no extra pinpoint attack. So 1d6 +3. 7.
Not bad.
Okay, so one of the ones who is sort of stood, so you're sort of aiming towards the group, you shoot, your bullet smacks into his forehead and he just drops down. He's dead.
Oh wow.
And so you've just got this mob sort of wailing down on you still. So, Gillis, you're up.
Yeah, I'm going to try and get out whilst blending into the crowd in my crow feather cape.
So inconspicuous.
So you're where are you going to? You're going to try and leave, are you?
Yeah, I'm getting the fuck out of Dodge.
Okay.
This is going awful for
So
everyone involved.
as you sort of make your way, you do notice in the doorway stood there is currently Boris.
His Zangief.
He is holding the door.
All right.
Hold
Um,
on.
Hold the door.
Is he letting people out?
No.
So everyone's being kept in by Boris.
He stood in the door. Oh yes, and Tantan, from your little blast wave, there's a few like nobles like lying on the floor. A couple of them with broken necks. You know,
They
this is
deserved it.
a little
I'm
bit
not
of collateral.
losing any sleep over that.
So yeah, so
Are we the baddies?
as you start like walking around Gillis, you sort of see that like there's the fight has focused, and actually by moving round, I'd like you to make a stealth check, please.
Okay, roll on the 3d6.
Don't biff it.
I'm guessing by that reaction, he's got 3 6s.
Yeah.
No, with my dexterity of 1, I have a grand total of 9.
Cool. So as you do that, Boris locks eye contact with you.
Oh.
I shout, "Yeah, mum!"
So on to their go. Is there anything else you would like to do? So you've moved sort of like into the middle of the room, tried to keep to the, sort of the sides. Is there anything else you'd like to do? Still got major action.
Keep any kind of bystander / civilian between me and Boris.
Okay. Make a strength check.
I think now we're the bad guys, Lee.
Yeah.
That's a 10.
10. I'll do. You try and grab somebody, and they sort of just definitely move out the way.
Yeah, I've still got restraints, so I'm not grabbing anybody.
No, you're still restrained.
That's
You
with
try
my
and grab them. You try and grab them with your teeth.
Yeah, I got this.
Okay, so at this moment, so over to them. Boris is locked eyes with you. He's going to run over to you and punch you in the face.
No, he's not.
He rolls a 14.
My defense is probably not 14.
So that is for him 7 points of damage.
Okay.
We spark out in a minute.
I'm good.
Cool. Up next is the mob of thieves. They're going to try and hit you, Tink.
No, never.
That is 13.
I say, yeah, that's a hit.
That is only 5 points of damage.
Ah.
So you're like being wailed on by these groups, and these daggers are just going ting 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 ting.
So he gets his name.
Cool. The one remaining bandit in the centre of the room is going to reach for his dagger. He's going to start backing away towards the door a little bit, and he looks quite scared. So he's going to move away because, like, he's just seen a guy get his pelvis pulverised. You actually hear him whelp a little bit, and sort of like he looks scared. He looks like his morale has broken, and he's actually going to leg it towards the door, and he's just gone. He's going for it.
Got past Boris.
No, no, Boris.
Boris is on me
moved.
now.
So over to Mac.
Because I shouted about his mum.
Alright, so we've got Boris.
Never
but
fails.
who else of the pistol wielders have we got left?
They're all gone now, aren't
Are they, is it
All
just
the
Boris?
pistol. Yeah, so the only ones that you've got in there is Boris at the moment.
Okay. I will
You've
charge.
got Boris and the mob of thieves.
they? Now
essentially.
comes a reckoning.
Yeah, I'm charging. I'm charging
charge.
Boris
Boris.
has lifted
Go for it.
lockdown.
You have to point your mace at him menacingly
Oh,
first.
okay, that's good. So that's choice charge. Give me. Okay, so that's 15 to hit with
15.
3 stunt points.
Okay, yeah, that hits. Roll damage.
So that's,
What's your dex?
my dex is +3.
3.
Ah, that was terrible. So that was 3 points of damage off the mace. Is my dex higher than his with 3?
Yes, it is.
I'm going to use my pinpoint attack. So that's another 3, so that's 6 points. And with my 3 stunt points, I will...
Another d6.
Yeah, I'll do Mighty Blow, and which gives another d6. 1! Okay, so...
Oh,
but I will then use... I get Pierce Armour for 1 stunt point because of my rogueness, so it'll Pierce Armour as well. So that was... something.
Because it only costs 1 and then, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Do that.
And I can't remember how
So
much
how
I
many
all
John's
rolled.
eyes doing the math.
Yeah.
eyes glaze over.
So that was...
Rain Man.
Numbers.
Was that like 7? 7
7.
points of damage?
We'll
But
go
with
for
Pierce
7.
Armour.
Okay, with Pierce Armour. Okay, so cool. Okay, nice, fantastic.
That was terrible. 7. That was 4d6
7.
with
That is
7 points
quite
of damage.
Oh, man.
Oh, that is not the best.
That's
Okay,
unfortunate.
so next up is Galen.
Yeah, sure. So I guess Galen needs a weapon. So he's going to reach
Helps
into
out.
his pile of weapons, but he's going to pull out a maul from the group of weapons on the floor. But it's almost like the maul found him rather than he was intentionally searching for a maul. So
Okay.
he finds this.
Roll a
maul.
faith test.
Yeah.
Do you want me to roll a
See-
maul?
No, you go for it. You pick up a ball.
Yeah. pick up a maul.
I'm not even sure if
He
faith
likes
is
to
a thing.
believe that
I'm
it
just
found
talking
him.
shit.
You know, he's going to believe that, and then he's going to swing at this kind of mob that are kind of attacking Tink
Okay.
that he's next to.
Go for
better
it.
be a mighty
Do I
fine
just
maul.
attack
Roll.
the group, or do I just?
Yeah, so you just attack the group. So roll to hit.
He's looking pretty angry at the moment, so he's managed to roll for. Oh god, like I just can't roll dice today. 10.
10.
Oh no.
Well, you're lucky because they're drunk, so you get +1, so you get 11,
11.
which hits.
Hey!
Roll your roll.
Round of applause! He did it, you guys.
So roll your
Good
damage.
I just can't roll dice at the moment. 4.
4. Okay.
On 2d6.
Okay, fantastic. Tink or Tan, you're up next.
Go for it, Tan.
Could I? Whereabouts am I in the room? Am I like fairly close?
So
to
you're in the
bar?
centre of the room. To your left is the sort of group of people who are wailing in on Tink, and to your
Okay.
right is Boris, who's currently punching Gillis and is sort of being
Okay.
attacked by Mac.
Okay. Whereabouts is the bar area? Is it off to
That's
my
off
right?
to your left.
Off to my left as
Yeah.
well. Because I saw
Time for
all
a
the
drink.
the piles of money, etc., were behind the bar. Could I try and look behind the bar to try and find our weapons? Because I assume
Okay. Yeah, so
that our
you,
weapons might be behind the bar.
so you look
That's a logical
behind the
assumption.
bar. You see there's some coinage behind the bar. You also see, like, underneath, just to one side, you do see a little selection of weapons and equipment.
Okay. Is it any of it ours?
It looks familiar.
Okay. Could I try and grab as much as I possibly can?
Okay,
fearing
roll a
we might-
dexterity check as you try and lean over the bar.
God. I think we all know where this is going.
Does it involve Mac picking you up?
That's a.
Have you actually taken any steps in this whole campaign by yourself?
No, I'm literally just
Has Mac's been carrying you around?
Town
like a trophy?
Airlines.
That is a
Time out.
10.
10. Okay, so as you try and
I got
reach over into the bar, you sort of reach a bit further, and then your feet are off the ground, and you sort of just like tumble over the bar and sort of land in a small heap behind the bar. So that's your go.
Oh, joy.
So, Tink.
I think at this point, this drunken mob are starting to get on Tink's nerves a bit. So what he's going to do, he's going to fire up his personality chip. It's going to obviously change his demeanour.
Oi!
That big bloke there is stealing your money. He's going to try and convince them to go
Okay.
after this big bloke.
Roll a communications check.
Okay, I'm better at that than I am at fighting.
You slag.
You slag.
A pitiful display.
10.
10.
Yeah.
You're not even in their drunken stupor, you're not convincing them that that's the
Uh,
case. They're like,
Can I put
hey, I get to steal your money! And they sort of just continue to wail in on you.
Can I put my guard up at all?
You
Or
can
is-
indeed, yeah.
Yeah,
You
I
put
would
your
like
guard
to do that.
up. Gillis.
Yeah, so I've just been smacked in the face by Boris whilst Mac has come in and sort of like left field and leathered into him. I'm going to try and sweep his legs.
Okay, go for it. Roll to hit.
Sweep the leg, like the Karate Kid.
Would this be a fighting?
Yep, fighting.
My fighting is +1. Giving me a total of 4.
You do not.
I'm kidding. No, it's 13.
13.
Oh, I was going to say.
13
41.
does hit.
Wow.
So it's 14 actually, 14 with the +1.
I would say, can you make a strength check, please?
Oh Jesus! Don't stop making me roll dice, John.
You'll certainly do damage to him as you hit him, but whether you knock him over or not.
So as well as
I
a
mean,
mic, do we need to club together and buy Jay a table and a dice tray now?
I've got that. 13. So hang on.
Okay, so I rolled.
I forgot the
17.
system. I rolled 2 4s and the stunt dice was a 5.
Yeah, but you don't succeed because it's just an opposed test in this, so it's not
Ah,
like a
right.
stunt thing. So you do damage. Okay, so roll a, because it's unarmed, roll a d3 and then add your strength.
Oh, Jesus. My online thing hasn't got one.
Just roll a
I'll just
d6.
I know how to do a D3.
That was so patronising then.
It's 2. It's 2.
I know how to do that!
2, okay.
Take one big cube and you put it on the floor.
Right, okay, so up
Oh,
to their
God.
go. So,
Can I just say, I forgot to add my strength when I did my dice roll. with my
Okay.
maul. So it's
Ooh.
+5 to my attack.
Okay.
So it's, so it's
Jesus.
12, not
Fuck.
7.
Okay, that's fine. Cool.
Did you build this character in
So,
a machine?
Boris is going to turn round,
Pure damage
and
output.
in one fell swoop, he's just going to reach down onto his belt where there's a long sword, and he's just going to pull it out and swipe it up towards you, Mac. That is a
Fuck
+4,
you, Tess.
12 to hit.
12 is my defense.
Okay, here we go. That is
87 points of damage. 3d6.
14 points of damage.
Oh my god.
Oh!
And he's
When
got...
we're all playing, I feel like we're sort of like guys mincing around in the real world. And then when John starts rolling, I feel like some
I know.
One Punch Man.
And then he's got
Sort of like
he's got
punching
2
you through the
stun
fucking
points for that.
ether.
So he's also going to use
like-
Mighty Blow to add D6.
We're rolling D4s and he's rolling D12.
So that's another 3 points of damage as well.
So, sorry, what was that in total?
Another 3.
Don't mess with the system.
14, 17.
17! Oh.
Yeah.
Right, Mac is not looking good.
No.
That is Operation Pants Down in full effect.
Okay. So, at this moment, that this sort of fight and cacophony is going on, the group that are sort of around Tink, they kind of like have a moment where they look around and they go, nah. And they sort of like realise, even in their drunken stupor, that like everybody else in the room is either dead, hiding in the corner, or the only other person is the big brute. So actually they're going to make a run for it. As they do, in the doorway appears this hooded figure. You all catch this individual as she sort of makes her entrance, as her presence is sort of overpowering. Those of you who see her notice the eyes first. They are dark purple. And the reason this means something to you is that there's only one kind of people in the world of Uri who have purple eyes, and they are divers. Divers are individuals who come from the city of Iro, far over the other side of the Empire. There's a city that's enveloped in shadow, and individuals are sent into this shadow to collect artifacts and wealth, which they then sold into the land. And they operate in clans and groups. They sort of train themselves up physically and mentally for the sort of going into this realm of shadow. As she steps into this room, she glances round. You can see sort of her mind calculating everything. As you sort of watch her come in, you see the body of the last individual who went up the top of the stairs just fall down behind her and collapse, with blood coming out of their throat. She's sort of there, dark tan skin. Her head, from what you can see underneath her hood, is shaven on one side, and on the other her hair is tied into a small black knot that just hangs over her shoulder. Her movements as she comes in are cat-like. She didn't make a sound coming into the room. And at her hip you see a small brace of daggers, and on her back a simple staff. And she just picks up one of these daggers and flings it towards Boris. And that is a... That is a 22 to hit.
Jesus.
She's in a different league.
Everybody in the room like a boomerang.
He only rolled one dice.
And she
A D21.
deals, with her throwing dagger, she deals...
57 points of damage.
Oh, hang on. Did I have some stun points? No, I didn't. So that is 10 points of damage to Boris. Okay. So this dagger just flings across and it like cuts him across the neck. And it sort of cuts deep, but not quite deep enough. And you sort of see on her face that... just missed. And she sort of looks round at you all, and then looks at the room, and smiles and nods a little bit, and just turns and goes, "Trust me." And she pulls out the staff from behind her back, and sort of makes her way into the room. So, Mac, it's now your go.
Alright, I'm aiming at that git, and I'm swinging my mace at him again.
Go for it.
He's just wailing on this guy.
No, okay, well, I've got a stunt point. Right, I don't think I hit. 5, 6, 7, 8.
I broke the seal.
Yeah,
It's gonna
10.
quickly nip off.
Is he
10.
outnumbered?
Yeah.
10 is, he is outnumbered though, so you do hit.
Oh, wow, okay. I got
'Cause
one
he's
stunt
outnumbered,
point.
he's outnumbered at least 2 to 1, which is +1, so that's 11, so that hits.
Alright, and I got one stunt point, so let's see if I can count this properly. Oh my word, double 1! So 2 points of damage. I'm going to use my pinpoint attack for 6.
Don't forget to add your strength.
Yeah, so that's 8. I've got 1. It doesn't do anything.
So
Okay, so that was it 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 points of damage.
And how would you like to kill Boris?
He aimed at his groin again.
So slightly, not
feel like
quite
you've
as
got a-
impressively as last time, but he sort of brings up the mace and smacks into the groin. And you just see Boris, like, his eyes just clock in slightly. And sort of as you smack it up into his groin, he drops down onto the floor, drops down to his knees, and you just bring the mace down, smack it on the back of his head, and he drops down onto the floor. At this moment, sort of as the room starts to quieten down, the woman just looks towards the sort of group of individuals who are still there. She just pulls out she pulls a little vial from her belt, throws it onto the ground, and it blasts with this energy, knocks them back. They smack their heads on the side, fall back. You also see her look over at the nobles that are still on the side. She pulls out some of her blades and flings them over, across, ending their lives. And she just looks at you all and just turns and goes, "I'm sorry. I need no witnesses. Except you lot. Come with me. You need to trust me. Follow me."
Well, I don't see any reason why we shouldn't trust her. Come on.
Mac is going to sit down for
Better
a
than a normal
minute.
situation.
He is not feeling very well.
Can we,
And she sort
can
of looks round at you all and goes, "Look, we need to move. Gather your things, gather what you need. Let's go. I have somewhere safe to go, but you must follow me now."
All right.
Galen is going to walk up to Mac and be like, try and heal him. Use his healing hands to heal him.
God.
I've changed my dice, so hopefully I'll get something from this game. Oh no. No, I've done it. Don't worry. I got
Okay,
12.
You got 12. How much healing you do?
Well, I spent 3 magic points, so 3d6. You can have, oh god, 7 points back. I'm rolling rubbish.
You are not
Have
falling
7
above.
back.
So,
That's
so
good enough.
at the moment that you're there, she sort of looks around the room, and you notice that this woman sort of walks over to the bodies, and she starts looking at their wrists, and she sort of looks around, and she moves over to the ones by the side of the room that you knocked in. Knocks the groin out of, should I say. And she looks at the wrists, and she goes, "I thought so." You sort of hear her mutter to herself, and she pulls out a dagger. She cuts the arm off, and sort of like puts it in a little, puts it in a pouch just by her side. And she sort of like says, "Have you got your things? Let's go. We must go."
All right. Have I got all my things back now?
Yeah, I'm looking for my cane.
don't have
Well,
your
I'm behind the
crown.
bar.
So at this
Headdress,
moment, sort of Tantan just appears from behind the bar, holding this bag of things.
I found her stuff, you guys!
So the equipment that you have back is basically your basic weaponry, and they also took your gold and sort of threw it in with some of the stuff behind the bar. So you managed to regain your gold. The items that are gone, as the staff is gone, the brooch is gone.
Who?
Jeremy.
The king has gone. The crown is gone.
King.
King has gone.
The crown has gone.
Where's
but-
Jeremy?
So he is not in the room at the moment.
All right. Mac is not going to be happy. He's stomping over
Deep
the bar.
breath.
He's taking his tinder box. He's going to set fire to the alcohol, and then he's going to storm out the room.
Okay, so you set fire to the alcohol, so it lights the alcohol.
Before that happens, can I just quickly, because you said there were a few coins that were like knocked around on the floor,
Yep.
can I try and gather up a
Yeah,
few
I
coins?
would say roll 2d6.
Tink's just going to be
Ooh, not
dusting
bad.
off his...
8.
8, you gather up 8 gold coins.
Oh, sick.
There were high rollers there that evening. So I would say, as Mac, as you light the sort of barrels, you see the woman. She looks and goes, "I like your style. Come, follow me." And she leads you up. Are you all going to leave, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As the fire starts to take hold. Huh?
Well, the fire's going to do that.
Like we search the bodies.
I don't think we'll have time.
Yeah, no.
You can have a quick search, roll a perception check, I would say, as you sort of like quickly pat down a few bodies that are near you. But the alcohol is catching fire quite quickly because it's quite high proof.
It's just because I recall you saying they were betting pretty big dollar.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Roll a
true.
perception check.
Can we each do that?
18666.
Okay.
666, number of the J.
Wow, Jay. You find 25 gold pieces.
Oh,
Gold?
Yep.
Damn!
Mac rolled a
Yeah,
10.
I wish I had a character sheet to record this on.
If only you did.
Anyone else want to have a quick check of any bodies?
Yeah.
Mac rolled a
I got
10.
13.
Mac, you don't find anything. A 13. Gillis, you sort of pat down. What you find, Gillis, is on one of the bandits that you sort of start patting down, you do find a note. Like a little diary sort of notes in his pocket, like a little ledger. And you sort of like think that might be useful. You also find a small pouch of 50 silver pieces.
Oh, damn. I
can't even
assume
write
I
it
would
down,
have
so
time
many.
to check because I was checking behind the bar.
Yeah, I would say you found the stuff and all the gold. That's what you were doing. And sort of Mac runs along and sets fire to the bar, and it sort of starts to crackle away. As you make your way up the stairs out of here, you do see a few bodies littered around, cut throats and various other things. And as you move into this kitchen area, you sort of notice you're moving out of a secret little entrance, and you sort of move out, and you do see tied up in the corner of the kitchen 2 feet tied together, 2 more feet tied together, and you sort of hear this.
Oh, my God.
And over on the side of the room, you see a hog-tied sheep with a knife just in a wooden sort of chopping board next to his head. Lying next to this sheep, you see a chef who's had his throat cut.
Mac is running over to Jeremy.
Obviously,
Grabbing
Jeremy fucked that chef clean up.
Yeah. Just grabbed the blade in his teeth and was like,
Yeah, just
"Eat."
like,
He's going to
"Ah, you
stomp
want
on
this,
the
son,
bloke's
you want this."
groin as he undoes Jeremy's bonds.
The Mac special.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
At the
Mac
moment,
likes groins.
At the moment that you pause to collect Jeremy, the woman who's with you turns round, and those dark purple eyes are really unnerving. And she turns to you and goes, "Quick introductions, by the way. The name's Tali. I'll get to know you in a moment, but please follow me. Keep up." And she sort of just makes her way out of the building. Are you going to follow with her?
Yes, Mac.
Yes.
Tink is just
you say,
like.
how are you spelling Tarly?
Tahli.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
Tink's just going to follow, like stride on after her. He's like just completely, obeying. No.
So at
Yeah,
this
I'm good.
at this point, as you start to make your way out of the building, you notice that pretty much anybody that was in this building is dead.
Wow.
And you get the impression that the individual that you're with doesn't want to be known that she's there. You very quickly put that together. So anybody who is in that room that may have seen her is no longer breathing. As you're sort of making your way out of the main sort of what seems to be front bar area of this establishment, as you sort of make your way out of the secret entrance out the back, you do see the smoke starting to rise up from the floorboards below you as the fire starts to catch. Tali begins to take you out into the streets. Darkness has set in. It must be late at night. You don't really know what time it is. There's a few drunkards here and there. But she starts to sort of guide you towards the Harbourside district. You get the impression that the crowds and hubbub of the port at all hours allows her to come and go as she pleases. At any hour. Oh, and there's also ample cover here. You notice how she continues to move with that cat-like agility, moving out the way of stumbling sailors at the last second, never touching them. She blends seamlessly into her surroundings. She navigates you through the narrow alleys, taking some turnings just off the main street. And she eventually takes you to outside a small 2-storey building. As she approaches the door to this building, she holds up her hand and mutters some words in a language you do not recognise. Her hand glows green, and the door unlocks, and she beckons you inside.
Tink's going to follow her in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's go for it.
Inside.
It seems like
Yeah,
a safe
Mac's
place.
following.
As you all walk in, as you all enter the building, you sort of start to take this sort of dank hideaway in. It's not much. She turns back to the door, mutters some more words, and you hear the lock click shut. She turns to you, says, "We should be safe here. We have a lot to talk about. Make yourself at home. Sit, rest. I shall make us a drink." And that is where we will end today's episode.
Wow. Nice.
That's pretty
Who
Larry.
is the mysterious Tali?
So,
Same time
yeah.
next week.
we'll
not,
find out
not
who
next
Tali is in the next one. So a slightly little longer bit of play today, but that was a really hairy fight. Well done, you survived. Do you know what?
Oh, touche for making a whole session out of one room.
Well,
Touche, sir.
so much happened. So yeah, really, really well done. That was good. I enjoyed that.
That was great. Thank you, John.
So yeah, next time round,
Yeah, cheers.
we will divulge a little bit more of who Tali might be and explore the bigger story that's going on here. So yes, and you've met your first diver. So as a little bit of an influx, I'll send you some stuff on the divers. But I talked about it, if you remember, right back at the intro to episode
when
1.
when you were doing the development
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah. So 10 episodes in, you finally meet one.
I
Is
forgot all
that
about that,
due
and
to
you're like,
us?
also, I
Probably.
remember something about purple eyes.
Yeah.
And
So-
we'll also find out how else we can throw wizards in.
Yeah. That is our.
ways
That's
to cast a wizard. Into
Currently, we've got the javelin and the hammer.
Yeah.
so.
We need the skim next, skim him across a river.
No, you've already done that. That was
No, that was
the
the javelin.
episode
That
in
was
the
javelin.
swamp.
That was a
That
shot
was
put,
javelin.
wasn't
That was just like pure.
I'm
Your
being
quarterback.
treated like an object here, and I don't appreciate it. Okay.
You just need a backpack so you can sit on like Mac's shoulders, like Yoda style.
No, he's like a trebuchet mounted
John,
on his shoulders.
I assume there is like a weapon sheet for this game. I think we need to petition Green Ronin to put Tantan. on the
Tantan, yeah,
weapon sheet.
Tantan must be on the weapon sheet. We'll put it up next time.
Improvised weapon.
Yeah.
There should be a strength to sort of constitution ratio of how hard you can throw a person.
No, that was awesome. I really enjoyed that fight. That was great. I just loved how that
was
played
good.
out, and yeah, it's good. It was good. Awesome. So-
Honestly, it was actually quite confusing, especially as a magic user. Where I'm not going to really achieve much as a brute force and ignorance character. I was like, what do I do?
you turn some stuff into bushes again.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
Yeah, then he
No, that
beat
was
someone
quite
to death with a bush.
You just gave him more
Galen got
potent
licked
weapons.
I was rolling particularly well this evening.
I mean, that fight would have gone one
yeah.
or two ways, and I can imagine just Matt going, right, I'm just going to hit Tantan on the head with this mace.
I did wonder.
Because Mac knew the rules and Tantan didn't.
Yeah, it's not the
I
smartest.
can't believe no one had a fire spell. I thought we were so obviously going to set fire to this place.
Galen,
No one had a fire
Fireheart.
spell.
Yeah.
Doesn't know any fire
Galen
spells.
Pyre Heart. No pyre.
It's just Galen.
He's got all of the heart,
Tepid heart.
though.
Yeah.
None of the fire.
Then there's me, Mr. fucking Tree Growth. Talk about one trick pony, but
So,
I'm not
you
far
throw
off of
crows as well.
snaring roots.
What I will also say.
Well, I couldn't, not with my foci, I couldn't.
What I will also say, just to wrap this up as we go, is that you are all now level 4.
When did we go to 3?
You went to level 3
a while ago.
quite a while ago. It was just before you got
Oh.
to Marquis, I believe. You turned to level 3 after the
Yeah.
after the ruins.
Oh.
I'm gonna
That
do-
was a session I missed. At level 3, I get
we
snaring
did it
roots.
At the end of that session, James.
We did it at the
all
end of that
said-
session.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We hit level 3 at the end of that session.
Yeah.
Well,
You
I
were
need
there.
to
You were
upgrade my
there for
decks.
So
Decided.
you're all now level 4. So out of
Very
session,
good,
we'll
very good.
level everybody up.
sweet.
But I believe
Oh,
this
thank
also
you.
means that you get to specialise. So you get to pick your first specialisation, which is quite a big thing, and you probably want to think a little bit about what that is. But we'll talk a little bit about
Is
that.
there a specialisation for your mum lines?
No, well, there might be. I'll have a look. There's loads.
I did think we were going to annoy him into killing us before anything
Yeah, I
happened.
thought that was gonna happen.
So, first off, I'd like to say a big thank you to everybody who joined us on Twitch, and thank you very much for joining us on that. And as always, thank you for those of you who are listening to us through the podcast. Please hit that like button, follow, subscribe, leave us a review. We had a really awesome review on Apple Podcasts that I know about, so reach out to us all on all our socials and things.
Where can we be found, John?
Well, where can we be found? Thank you for reminding me.
Where can we
Lee.
not be found?
We can be found on Twitter. Search Wreckage RPG. Find us on Twitch now, Wreckage RPG. In fact, on Twitter we're RPG Wreckage. Annoying. Somebody with like 2 followers got the other name. And then on Instagram we're
One more than us.
We're also Wreckage RPG, but you can sort of check out all the links in our bios all over the place, and certainly in the podcast bios as well. But yeah, thank you very much, folks, for that. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and yeah, cannot wait for the next one.
Yeah, it'd be good.
Cool.
Thank you, John,
Awesome.
for having that.
Well
Well done, guys.
See you later, folks. Have a great one. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to our show. We hope you enjoy it as much as we do. On that topic, if you did like the show, please leave us a review to help more people find their way to us. Anyway, we look forward to having you along for the next part of the journey. And just remember the most important question: what would you like to do?